Life is stressful. I was just, I was really doing my chest. Everything's just furry. And I'm like, all right, tired of this. So I get in the shower. I'm shaving. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to shave the balls and everything. I'm going hard. So I get everything down to a slick. I even go against the grain.
Oh my God!
Just on some parts to get it like baby.
That hurts a little
bit.
It
sucks. Yeah. It gets
yeah.
Let me out. Let me out of here. Get me the hell out of here.
This girl, I used to hook up with her. Well, anyways, we kind of fell out of touch. She's a little weird anyway. And I had these two girls lined up. The both girls canceled on me. So she shows up and she has gained like 80 pounds.
She gets up and you're like, here, put the Spider-Man mask on. I've always had a real kink for this.
I love Spider-Man. Yeah, you take it, Spider-Man. See, and they already doing it to me right now in the chat. I see it. Where is it at? Look, it's in Enrico. It says, you like swamp. No, that's not what I'm saying, you motherfucker. I'm saying a little. I would be in Vegas right now getting shot on by like 9 dudes. Here's like, for like $2,000, bro. Let's go.
Let's do it.
You gonna on me? What the fuck is going on?
I'd be going crazy. I'd have an OnlyFans because your boy wants a Ferrari. I don't know how I get it. Why am I big? God. It's a great way to start off.
He's retarded.
No, I watched the intro, and I think back to a time when I felt normal and not sick, and it's like so nostalgic for me when I'm like watching that. You ever, when you're sick, do you ever think, man, I don't even remember what it was like to be normal again?
Yes,
feels like a lifetime ago when once you get sick, and it just gets farther and farther away. That is guy sick though for us here. That is guy sick.
Yeah, women are kind of used to it because they have to go through it like every month. Speaking of going through it, welcome to the show for the first time, Brett Dasovic.
Dasovic, yes. What is going on, dude? And what is going on, everybody watching? How's it going?
Dude, I'm so excited. So excited to have the show. I'm real sick, everybody in the chat. If you haven't noticed, I'm sicker than a dog. This is the worst I've been in a long time. But I'm powering through it. Zia was texting me, and she's like, You can just cancel the show, and I'm like, I can't. I have a mortgage. Zia,
I didn't say
there are
just cancel the show. I said, do you want to cancel the show? That's all I said. I was looking out for you because you need rest, but also my bitch ass streamed with 103-degree fever. So what the fuck can I say?
Yeah, I think I remember you telling me when you were sick, and I was like, why are you streaming right now? But that's fine.
Because it's the same thing. Because the same reason.
We got things we got to do.
Yeah.
Bills we got to pay, and we have people that we can't fail. It's weird. It's like this thing. It's like, well, I can't let these people down, even though they don't care. But I'm like, I just can't let them down. Speaking of letting somebody down, Walter Fadul, I feel like it's been a year. How you doing, dude? So we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff today, guys. I don't know if it'll be the normal length of show because I feel pretty bad, but I feel normal, right? I feel fine right now. I think I can
talk yourself into it, dude. Just talk yourself into it.
Yeah.
Set yourself up. You got this.
Drink yourself into it. The more booze you have, the better you will feel.
That is true. I do have a lot of rum.
Yeah, man.
Downstairs in my liquor cabinet.
I will be honest. Like, I used to think back in the day that I never got sick, but I was also like, I had like a really big drug problem for a lot of years. So I realized after I got sober that I was like, oh, I wasn't that good. I was just fucked up all the time.
You just felt good.
Yeah, there's a long time ago, but I still think about it now when I do get sick. I'm like, oh, I wasn't as tough as I thought I was. I was just high all the time.
Yeah, you just didn't notice it.
Yeah,
that's literally like meth heads when they fucking keep coming and you shoot them a few times and they're like, I'm Superman.
It's the PCP ones that the cops always have to shoot. Whenever they're like, why do cops need guns? And they're like, have you ever seen a cop shoot a dude on PCP?
Yeah.
They just keep coming at you.
They don't stop. It's true. It's crazy.
Dude, speaking of keeping and just keep coming. And I'm not talking about Zia. I'm talking about Billy Hatcher. Oh my gosh. He says first Camel Thoughts of the year. Is it the first Camel Thoughts of the year?
It is, I believe.
Oh, wow. Says first Camel Thoughts of the year. Nice to see Zia and Cody together for the first Saturday of 2024. Also, fuck Disney and their shitty Star Wars series that ruined Finn. And I see it got gay again. Cody was dominant for a few seconds. Thank you so much, Billy Hatcher. I love you. I appreciate you for the first Red Boy of the night already. We're one orange boy from a rainbow knot in the first 5 minutes of the show. Thank you, Billy Hatcher. I love you. You're the GOAT. He's always the GOAT. Every stream, he makes it happen. I appreciate you, my friend. And speaking of making it happen, Slosher, with a fat, delicious pink boy already. He says, love your honesty. No, I can't let the fans down. Instead, got to get bills paid. That's how it works. It's literally in the intro. It's like, I gotta get a Ferrari somehow.
It does also sometimes come across disingenuous if you say it's about the fans all the time. It is, but also everybody's got jobs. Everyone's got to make a living.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of which, Cody, spread those cheeks. You'll get a Ferrari soon.
Yeah, well, I need to bleach that shit before I do anything. I'm not like you.
You're not supposed. What? You're blonde too. You should have a pretty decent butthole, right? No,
that's not how that works.
I thought that's how it worked. I thought the color of your butthole was like in relation to the color of your skin.
So it's like carpet matches the drapes for women and stuff.
Yeah,
all right, let's go.
Okay. Every blonde girl I've ever met has like dark pubic hair.
Really?
And
are they natural blondes or are they? Yeah. Are they bleached? Okay.
I would do. My hair was bleach blonde my entire life, until I was, I think, 27. It started just all of us overnight. It's like
that's what happens. Yeah.
So, but when I was 13, it was like white, and my pubic hair was blacker than hell. So
that's so weird. Mine is like a reddish color, kind of. It's like a light brown, but like reddish.
Nah, I don't think it's true.
It is. Stop trying to get me to send you pictures.
What do you think it would be? If not that, then what?
Yeah. No.
Exactly.
My mom's hair is like still really blonde. I don't know anything about her pubic hair though. So
pubic hair, that's crazy.
Oh, that's why. Hey, Mom, I know it's like nine.
This is a really
I got a
good
question
but
yeah, just text her. What color is your pubic hair, Mom?
Perfectly rational question. Perfectly.
My mom's real
question.
nice and laid back. She'd probably just immediately answer. Oh man, thank you, Slosher.
So much about you.
Thank you, Billy Hatcher. We're a fifth of the way to Naked Snake already. In the first 10 minutes, 7 minutes of the stream. Appreciate you guys so much. Somebody said some fight milk will clear that up. That's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what I need to do. But anyways, so there's a lot of stuff on the dock today, boys. We're talking about Star Wars. We're talking about old Epstein and talking about other things and a philosophical conversation I want to have because it's very interesting. And I think the thing around it is it's hard to fathom time. And you'll understand what I mean when I ask the question. It's hard to fathom time, not in a straight line, which is why I choose the option most people don't, because it's like a basically A or B question, and then why. So I'll ask that soon. But before that happens, so my buddy Critical Drinker released a video today, and then Disparu released a video today, and everybody's releasing videos just left and right. About what's her name? The God, I can't never.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Well,
Daisy Ridley.
Well, the browner one.
The one who's going to be directing the new movie.
Yeah,
Charmine Obaid Chinoy.
Oh, can we?
How do you know?
How the hell did you pull that off? That was impressive.
Because we this is what I do for work.
We literally had this conversation.
We've been talking about it. So yeah. I could be mispronouncing some of. I didn't check her name. I think I got it right, but I could be wrong.
That sounds right as hell. To be fair,
I would like to look up her credits and see what she's done before this. I'm curious.
It's almost all. It's almost all documentaries related to Middle East, like feminism in the Middle East and
that makes
Taliban.
A lot of sense for this.
She's done some animated digitals and stuff that were all basically activist drawn media in a lot of ways. So she's given speeches at the World Economic Forum. She's not who you picture for a big budget movie. That was my problem with this. Was simple. I said, look. There should be a ban on giving somebody $300 million to make a movie if you do not have at least 5 to 6 movies of similar budgets or medium budgets working your way up to that prove that you can bring home more money than what it costs to make that film. You have to make an amazingly large amount of money to even profit these days. The 2 biggest movies of this year Oppenheimer, or the three biggest movies, if you look at Oppenheimer, Super Mario Brothers, and of course Barbie, all cost $100 million to make, but made over $1 billion. The problem is when you make movies that cost $250 to $300 million, you have to split it with the theaters. There's all sorts of funny business. You have to make $1 billion to even sniff the realm of breaking even after you include the marketing. There is no reason to give somebody, would you give somebody the keys to your, like, the most important piece of media that you own and say, hi person, with no credits to your name, nobody's hiring me or you or anybody here to make a Disney Star Wars film, right? They're not going to do that. It makes no sense whatsoever. Only in Hollywood does something like this happen.
It's so weird because I've noticed this, and I've talked to Disparu about it. I've talked to Critical Drinker about it when he was on my show. The weirdest thing about this whole situation is every new Marvel, every new Disney film that comes out, the director's announced, or like the lead writer or a showrunner for a show on Disney Plus or something. And it's some random like Asian lady or a black lady. And I'm like, okay, interesting. And I go and I just look up their IMDb or their writing credits or anything. And they have one like they directed one short like in 2013. And I'm like, what the fuck?
It's because at the end of the day, Marvel is the director. Kevin Feige is the director, and they're in charge, right? Now, they do make exceptions. I've made that point before, and people get pissed. They're like, no, they hired Sam Raimi. No, there are other directors that they've hired.
Sam Raimi was a last minute hire though, and he didn't have really any freedom. And the reason that the director before him left is because he also didn't have any freedom, and they were having issues with creative differences. And Sam Raimi came in last minute and probably just took the paycheck. Like, he didn't come in being like, I'm going to have control of this movie. And it was okay.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? The big directors who have clout in the industry want to be able to make the movie that they want to make. But if you were to steel man their argument, you could understand if you were trying to be as generous as possible, that they want continuity to matter. All of this stuff lines up. Too much artistic flourish might destroy the overall picture. We know that that's bullshit, but I could understand the argument. But they're never going to do that. They hire these young directors with no credits because they get control of the picture. And now the disingenuous argument is that they're saying that people just have a problem with a woman directing Star Wars. No, when they announced Rogue Squadron, everyone was completely fine with Patty Jenkins directing a movie for them, even though Wonder Woman 1984 was garbage, right? Nobody has a problem with that. Deborah Chow has done many episodes of The Mandalorian, 2 to 4, whatever, and people thought that she did the best work in season 1 of The Mandalorian. It's the most straw man of arguments, and it's bullshit.
It's basically a cop-out. They want to say that so that they have an argument to keep hiring these people to keep pushing their agenda instead of making good storytelling. Like, that's really what it comes down to. They're going to make garbage, shove it down your throat, and be like, oh, well, you don't like it because you're sexist, racist, whatever ist or ism it is it's going to be, because they want to push their message and push their narrative instead of focusing on a good story with good writing and good plot points that actually, for the love of fucking God, if they would respect the IPs, the fans would like them. And then they keep telling the fans, oh, well, we're not making this movie for you. Well, then who the fuck are you making it for? Who's buying tickets to go see this movie if not the fans, you idiots?
No one.
It's the phantom audience.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the phantom audience. They've been doing this in comics for years too, right? There's this myth of this extra group that they're going to find of new people. It's the blue-haired people that have all the money to burn, except for they have no money to burn and they don't read comics, right?
Yeah, this is not their genre.
No, it's not. So they're constantly chasing this new audience. Now, you could also say that they just don't care because they're ideologically inclined. That's a perfectly reasonable argument too. Yeah. But Bob Iger has supposedly said that they got to focus on making less movies and making them better. Well, if this is your idea of the next best movie to make with less on the docket, I don't think that they're going to be very happy with the result. This is literally going to be flushing $1 billion down the drain.
Yeah. And which is what they did last year. And if you look at all of her writing or her directing credits or producing credits, almost all of them are just documentaries. So I'm confused at how that's going to translate into Star Wars. And it's very obvious. It's very, very obvious that this is going to be like just an entire like feminist propaganda film.
It's funny because somebody made the argument, because I made that argument, and somebody said, flag on the play. David Fincher did a bunch of, because I pointed out that she was a journalist first and she's not a film director. Those are different genres. Documentarians and film directors aren't the same thing. And he brings up David Fincher. I said, David Fincher had years of music videos before he even got to direct something like Seven, right? And that's not even close to the same budget as what you're looking at for a film like this.
And it's also a different type of film. I do honestly think the tone of something like from a documentary, depending on what it's about, translates a little better into the tone of a movie like Seven as opposed to a big budget like Star Wars film. They're two completely different things. Like that doesn't work.
I made the same point when we were talking about James Bond, because there was a point in time when Christopher Nolan expressed interest in James Bond. And I said, good. At this point, franchises with IP that are worth billions of dollars, you should have to be essentially, it should be given to the best of the best. It should be almost handed down to the person they believe can caretake that property while they have it, right? You can hand Christopher Nolan a movie, and you know that if he can make people care about a 3-hour long movie about a historical figure in which the explosion, which is what most of the movies would have made it about, took up less than 10 minutes of the screen time. If he can make almost $1 billion doing that, he can make a James Bond movie. But there are only so many directors that can do that, and all of them wield clout that will hamper Marvel's ability to control the film the way they want to. You're not going to be able to tell Christopher Nolan what to do. You're not. You can't do that.
Yeah. Which, speaking of Oppenheimer, fantastic movie. I love it.
That's so good.
As somebody who hates long movies, like that's my biggest beef with Hollywood for the most part, is like I have the attention span of a gnat. Like, get me out of the theater in under 2 hours, and I'm already predisposed to like your movie more than I already would be if it's good. Like, to make a movie that's almost 3 hours long and make it worth it is very, very difficult in current year.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I really enjoyed it. I actually watched it very recently because I was on Open Bar the other day, and they started to Drinker was saying Oppenheimer was one of his favorite films of the year, or somebody said that, and I was like, shit, I didn't even watch it. So I finally watched it like last week, and I thought it was fantastic. And it's not really act or anything; it's just kind of character fun. Good.
And the amount of suspense that he manages to create throughout the entire movie is impressive. In times where you wouldn't think that it would be there, you're kind of sitting forward like this, watching like what's going to happen. He did such a good job with that movie.
I said that. I said, like, very few directors can make Senate hearings look interesting, right? Who can make congressional oversight meetings look interesting. People in, when he has to give when Oppenheimer has to go in and do basically the background check with the FBI agents and stuff like that. And that's probably Robert Downey Jr.'s best work since leaving Marvel.
Yeah. Agreed. What is that one movie he did that was actually really terrible?
He did that really bad Doolittle movie that nobody saw.
That's what it was. Yes. I heard it was awful.
I feel like those movies, like when a AAA actor, like somebody like Robert Downey Jr. does all these really high budget films, then all of a sudden they appear in this just random ass shit movie that's like nothing. I feel like that somehow has to do with taxes, right? It's like that's like a tax write-off for somebody, right? It has to be.
Well, like I saw, like who was it that did, like some of these actors will just go and do, like, back in the day, Nicolas Cage did all those bad movies because he had to pay off his tax debt, right?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I love Nicolas Cage. I just rewatched Con Air recently. It's a masterpiece.
Even though the Alabama accent, he's like, he's like, yeah, I'm from Alabama, and I'm like, that's not what people from I'm from Alabama, and that's not what people sound like. He sounds like he's like European. It's so weird. I love it.
Supposedly he went there. Supposedly he went to Alabama or wherever to like study the accent. I'm like, that's not the flex you think it is, because it sounds so bad.
Yeah. So he went there and still sounded terrible.
He didn't learn anything from it. But because I was watching that, and then right after that, I watched that weird Kevin Spacey Tucker Carlson interview where he's basically playing the Frank Underwood character from House of Cards, which is an amazing accent.
Yeah. Yeah. That one actually sounds pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like every older guy that lives here.
Yeah.
Or in North Carolina, but the North Carolina, Alabama, they all sound pretty similar to me anyway. Like podunk places. No, his character is great in House of Cards. It's just he's in real life, he's spooky. He's just spooky as hell in real life.
a lot of people do seem to die around him
Yeah.
after they accuse him of bad behavior. That is scary. And if anything happens to me, now you know what happened. It's because I said something about it.
Uh-oh.
It's
Yep.
wild. It's wild. Noah Sanders, my boy, with a rainbow knot with the orange boy, says, so glad I could pester you two to do a show together. Let's at least get this naked snake so Brett has to take his shirt off. I haven't even asked him, so you don't have
I
to.
am not doing that.
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
If I do that, I'm making the money off that one, guys. You'll have to follow me over somewhere else to do that. I'm profiting off it if I do that. Sorry.
He says, I hope Brett has some eggs in his fridge. We haven't hit 5 milk in a while, boys. Thank you, Noah Sanders. I appreciate you, dude. Love you. You're the man. You're the man with the rainbow knot. Renee Galarza says Disney hire these people because they're cheaper. They don't care much about the message. That, that probably has some like validity to it. But the fact of the matter is, when they like hire a good director and a good writing team to make a good film, therefore make more money, therefore a director costing, $20 million, $30 million wouldn't really be a big deal, I guess.
Yeah, it depends on whether they take the upfront payment or the back end deal, right? That's what I would love to get back to. If you watched, did either of you see the Five Nights at Freddy's movie?
No, I heard it
was awesome.
I heard it was solid for like if you like the stuff, you'd like it.
It was a very video game movie.
I didn't think much of it. It wasn't for me, but a lot of people did like it, and it made a lot of money. And the director of that movie had a smaller upfront payment and made more on the back end because she took a bet on herself and decided to say, look, if I make a good movie, I stand to make way more money if I do that. And that's really what we should be getting back to anyways. That's why streaming is such a problem, because they make all the episodes right away. And there's no money to be made after the fact. So they get their upfront payment and there's no reason to make something good.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and look at that. Surprise, surprise. That was a female director, I'm assuming.
Yep,
and it
sounds
like she made a great movie that everybody liked and no one complained. Crazy how that works.
Yep.
One of my favorite movies of all time is a female director, American Psycho.
It's like, oh shit, yeah.
Great movie.
Look, and there have been female directors that have populated television for decades, and I almost feel bad for them because they toiled away and got through on merit and worked their ass off. Now, granted, and people will always say this, like they're different mediums. Directing television is not the same thing as directing a big budget motion picture. I understand that, but they worked very hard to get where they were, and oftentimes probably to their detriment back in the day. And now you have this whole new generation of actors and directors who not only want to rewrite history and pretend like there wasn't any progress when there was. Think of Jennifer Lawrence saying she was the first real action
I was about to say that. I was literally about to say that, yeah.
They're all, everyone's desperate to be the first of something. Right. So think about all these people that worked hard back in the day. I mean, Patty Jenkins did a lot of work before she did Wonder Woman, before she developed the clout she did. Granted, giving her full creative control over Wonder Woman 1984 doesn't exactly speak well for her, but she has way more credibility than the people they hire from Marvel that just have nothing behind their name.
Yeah. One writing credit for a short like 10 years ago. And I'm like, how did this person even be getting through the conversation? Like, how did like what they were, and there was an executive boardroom and they're like, this name comes up out of nowhere. It's like, oh, you remember that one lady that did a short in 2014? We should put her in charge of this $300 million movie. I'm like, what the fuck?
Crazy.
How did that even come to fruition? Like, it's so strange.
Just sad. Like, it's, and I feel bad. Like, I'll be completely honest. I'm not, and people who watch our show understand. It's like, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. So what I always say is, I feel bad for you guys. Yeah. I feel bad for Star Wars fans. I feel bad for the diehard comic fans who have to watch these properties that they grew up loving get through this golden period where then they got a lot of stuff to be excited about for a long time. And now they're just being beaten down mercilessly by this industry day after day.
Well, here's the thing with Star Wars, that I grew up on Star Wars, but here's the real reality of Star Wars. There were 3 good movies. I liked Rogue One. I liked Rogue One a lot. Yeah. I watched it in theaters a couple of times. A lot of people didn't necessarily like it, but I thought it was good. I really liked the first.
Too, yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Rogue One is the only one of the new trilogy that anyone gives any credit, right?
Exactly. It's the one that everybody brings up, but still some people don't like it. Mandalorian had a couple of really good seasons, and I actually quite liked Andor, but a lot of people didn't like it. That's it. And those are just mediocre. Like, really, Star Wars is 3 fucking movies. The prequels are god awful, even though I did watch those in the theater when I was a kid, like growing up. And then everything that they made recently is fucking horrendous. So like there really hasn't been anything good from Star Wars since the original trilogy came out. And I don't know why they keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, because it's just getting to a point where it's burning people out on something that's not even good.
Too much content too. That's another problem with a lot of this stuff is it doesn't feel special anymore when these things come out. It used to have a certain amount of gravitas when it did, and you just don't see that anymore. As somebody like I remember having to watch Solo and just like feeling bad while laughing at how much it was probably hurting all of the people who love these franchises, right?
Painful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, no. And then what was the show with fucking, oh God, Jesus Christ, what was it? Kenobi?
Oh God, I forgot. I always forget about
I didn't
that.
even finish it. It was one of the worst pieces of shit I've ever
Oh
seen.
yes, okay, yes, Kenobi. We reviewed Kenobi, and all you could think the whole time is that it doesn't have any fluidity to the story whatsoever, right? The Reva character is god awful, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it was so strange. Speaking of the Reva character, I feel like she was the worst part of it by a mile. There were some scenes that were all right, but like when she would try to get like intimidating and aggressive, it looked like some kind of high school play. Like
I would not be able to stop giggling if she was trying to shit talk me. I'd be like, this it's
so
silly.
Strange.
And this goes to the problem, right? Like the reason, and I always say the reason Barbie made $1 billion is because it's a movie for women, but like that women made and had a strong interest in. It taps into things women like, things women find interesting, not just the feminism of it, but women like clothes, okay? And women like these types of things. So there is this untapped market that they're not willing to go for because they're not creative enough. And two, a lot of it is they want to culturally subvert and put women into these roles that men used to dominate. And I used to think that was one of those things where back in the day, the idea of subverting expectations was at least a little bit understandable, right? You a couple of times a year, you put out a movie where it breaks from the mold, and it's kind of like watching a movie like The Sixth Sense for the first time. After you see it, it's not really nearly as interesting as it was before. But now I can't think of it being anything other than cultural subversion. That's what I think of when I think of them casting, and I do really think of it as casting. They cast a director for this movie to do Star Wars. It's really just a way to put its boot on the neck of the people who love it and say, we're in charge. You're not going to get what you want. And you either give in and submit, or you just stop caring altogether. And I don't blame the people who have just stopped caring altogether.
I stopped going to see. I stopped going to see most movies. I didn't see the Marvels in theaters. It's just you get tired of being let down, and I'm not spending money on that.
Yep.
My favorite movie this year was a movie called Gran Turismo by
everybody was talking about.
It was the true life story about the first winner of the actual Gran Turismo competition. That's a real thing, which was really, really interesting. My second favorite movie of this year was The Creator from Gareth Edwards, who did Rogue One, which was
I actually enjoyed The Creator.
Yes, I know I got a lot of pushback on that one. A lot of people didn't like that movie. Thematically, they thought it was communists. You know, they thought it was communist leaning and a lot of problems with it. But if you can make that movie for $80 million, if Gareth Edwards can make that movie for $80 million, why can't you give him a Rey Solo movie with $300 million? Why can't you? He already proved that he's the one who made the one sequel trilogy movie that anybody liked in Rogue One. Why not give him the money? Why not get him the movie? Makes way more sense.
Well, it's because they don't really want a good movie. They want a movie that they can use marketing tactics to just shame people down. I still think it's just that it's foreign banks giving unbelievable amounts of money to movie studios to destabilize the West. Like
I literally was just having this conversation.
It's the old Soviet Union playbook from like a long time ago.
Yes.
It's
fucking
China?
working. No, from Russia.
No, but you think this time around, you think it's from Russia?
I think it's from Russia. I think they started it in Russia. Maybe China fucking joined them. But like years ago, this has been a plan that's in place for decades at this point, and it's been slowly rotting us from the inside.
China has a way bigger financial impact on America. Like right now, there's a lot of Chinese investment in Hollywood. Did you guys ever see the really bad movie from Roland Emmerich? What was it? Moonfall? It's like
Oh,
the
I
worst
loved it.
movie.
Loved
it's,
it.
Yes,
it's so good.
Holy
It's
shit,
so
I
bad.
forgot
It's good.
about that.
When the
It's
moon
so
comes
it's
so
so
close
bad.
to
It's good.
them.
The
Love
moon,
it.
the moon is a bad guy, right?
Yeah.
It's hilarious. We laughed the whole. I think our review was like 50 minutes long because we couldn't stop laughing. And the point is that movie was heavily financed by China, so there's a lot of investment, foreign investment from these studios. Look at the like 10-cent productions and things like that. And in that film, he has the random like the nanny just randomly speaks Mandarin, and they never really explain why. Studio note from the people that gave you the money to make your awful movie.
Yeah, I loved it. That part where the moon like gets really close and the gravity starts pulling people. I thought it was so stupid.
It's
And
so stupid.
dude, there's one part where they're like trying to escape on a car and the ground is exploding and they're just ramping from random pieces of like landmass and just keep going. I was laughing so hard.
Finish that movie. I think I watched maybe almost half of it, and I was like, I can't do it, man. I can't watch any more of this.
See, those are the movies I love. Like, if you make a movie that's so bad it's good, I'm on board all day.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even hate The Flash this year. I was like, does this movie make a whole lot of sense? Why is Batman there? I didn't even hate it. I was like, look, is Ezra Miller a good person? No, Ezra Miller's a bad person. But I didn't hate the movie. I liked it more than I liked the Marvels.
That, you know what's really funny? I actually enjoyed The Flash more than I feel like there was no reason for me to. I don't know why I enjoyed it so much. I left the theater being like, that wasn't a good movie, but I had a good time. It was one of those.
It was because I actually do believe, sad to say, that he did a really good job of connecting with his mom, with the character, with his mom in that movie. So there's at least a certain amount of emotional resonance that comes from him in the journey he has to go on, even if the middle of it is kind of a mess. Right? He nails the scenes. There's this scene at the end at the grocery store that explains the time shift and everything like that. Like he hits the mark he needs to when he does, and that's about the best he can do for something like that. But that movie costs so much money to make, it doesn't matter. It costs like $350 million to make.
Jesus.
Did you guys see the giant ass catfish they pulled out of the Bass Pro Shop in Alabama?
I saw the
Oh my God.
Everybody's tagging me in it about you, Cody.
Yeah, so thank you by the way, Fire PA, for your delicious gold boy. So yeah, there was a dude in Leeds, Alabama, which is a place I've only been to once, and I went there to get a GameCube and Twin Snakes because it was the only place I could find that had one. This is years ago, and yeah, so a guy went to Bass Pro Shops or whatever and just strips butt ass naked and then jumps in this giant ass fish tank. And I'm like thinking to myself, why did he get naked? Because now he's a sex offender. Like he could have just gotten some trunks and then jumped in. But
yeah, but probably meth.
His penis.
So
yeah, there is no penis.
It's literally the Cartman. It's like it's in South Park when Cartman takes his pants off and there's a tiny little like U. Like, like a letter U, like very small, like on his belly.
In the chat already, it was cold. I feel bad for the guy. What if he's a grower and not a shower? Right. Not everyone's a shower. You know what I mean?
It looked like
he should have stretched it out when he got it out. He should have stretched it out the best he could and then gone for it.
Well, if he's already a sex offender, he should have just got himself hard before he jumped in. He should have just started.
People were like they don't even need to censor the picture because there's nothing there.
Yeah, dude, it looks like he looks like a Ken doll. Have you seen it,
bro? That's rough,
yes.
Bro.
It's literally like smooth. It's just there's nothing there. It's crazy. Yeah. And sometimes I think I'm small, and then I see that shit. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm not that small.
You're like, thank goodness.
Thank God. Rakin says, "What's up, you bitches? Thank you, Rakin. I love you. I appreciate you."
Hi, Rakin.
He's my boy. Thank you for your gold, boy. That's Dan's Atastic.
That's Dan's Atastic. He's a regular on our show over there. What's going on, dude?
He said, so glad to see old Brad with Naked Snake. This mean you're gonna be on PCC? I have no idea. Get on it, doggone it. Also, last movie I watched, I enjoyed was Bullet Train. Anime's better.
Yes.
I loved Bullet Train.
That
movie was so much fun. I remember watching it and be like, this is awesome.
Oh, it was fucking Lofty. Lofty told me it was the worst movie he ever saw, and I was like, I have to watch it.
It was so fun. It was so fun.
There was also a movie that came out this year called The Killer from David Fincher. That's really good.
I did not see that
one. Slow burn. Definitely, it's not a spy or an assassin movie per se. It's more of a kind of a character introspective. It's really, really good though.
Yeah, I watched The Killer like 2 nights ago. Thought it was great.
Yep.
That was really cool. I think it's because Michael Fassbender is so serious. He's just so damn serious in that movie.
He and you had like if you don't have a lead that works really, really well there, it's gonna fall apart because he's essentially in every scene. Right.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have a really good actor to do that, it's not going to work out very well for you. I also liked Expendables 2 this year. So I made or no, I'm sorry. Extraction 2. Extraction.
Oh, I was about to say Expendables was awful.
Expendables 4 was the worst movie of the year this year. Expendables 4 was the worst movie of the year. That was the worst CG. That the CGI in that movie will be studied in history as the worst CGI.
Wait. Did oh my god, what was that movie? The Meg 2 come out this year?
Yes.
Because I have to argue that was the worst movie of the year.
Both Jason Statham movies.
Jason Statham has been doing some bad shit lately. I
watched The Beekeeper. He's got The Beekeeper.
Oh my god, yeah, that too. What the fuck is that even going to be about? Who knows? No, the Meg 2 though was like, I remember just laughing hysterically through the whole thing. Like I couldn't take it seriously. So I guess it was fun for that reason, but it was so bad.
Yeah. I had a list of like 17 movies that I liked this year. Like it wasn't a fail. It's just my metric that I always give people. I said, because I don't like giving rating scales or anything like that. It's so subjective. Because like some weeks I'll give something a 7 and they'll be like, oh, and then people are like, that's like a B, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, what does a 7 translate to a letter grading system? I say, would you watch it again? Because the most valuable thing you have is your time, right? So are you willing to give one of these movies your time more than once? The only thing that's done that for me in the last couple of years is Top Gun Maverick. I haven't watched anything twice other than Top Gun Maverick.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If that's the case, then The Room is like a 10 for me because I've watched it like over 100.
Dude, I've seen The Room so many fucking times.
Every time a girl would come over, it was weird. So I found The Room in like 2016, probably right after my wife had left, my ex-wife, and so I was hanging out with girls off Tinder every day, and they would come over, and I would be like, "You have to watch this movie," and I make them watch The Room every time, every girl, and Interstellar too. So Interstellar.
Would you cry? Would you watch Interstellar with them and cry and be like, "Sorry, I'm gay"?
I can get real stoic about it, and I can like
cry only when they're not there. Does he cry?
Yeah. If I'm alone, I can be like, fuck it. When he's watching the videotapes, yeah, it kills me. But when somebody's, I'm pretty stoic. I can hide that shit pretty well. It's like weird. It's like I can suck them back in and like keep them in my eyes. It's really weird.
But do your eyes get all watery and like glassy looking?
They probably do.
Because that's also pretty gay.
Look at this gay guy, Johan. Ignores Cody, says, "Hey Zia, hey Brett."
Hi Johan. Hi Johan.
That's watching Heat for me. I can watch Heat every day, and I would never get sick of it.
That's De Niro and Pacino, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Fantastic movie. Yeah.
Yep.
God, it's been years. It's been years since I watched that. I probably should watch that.
A guilty pleasure of mine from the same director is Michael Mann made this 2006 Miami Vice movie that makes almost no sense, and I love every second of it. It's really bad, but I love it.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of rare, finding a movie that's bad. Speaking of like something like The Room, finding a movie that's bad, but you extract so much joy from it.
Yeah.
And there's so many movies like that for me. And
I have a lot. That's a lot of them for me.
It might be like Willy's Wonderland. I think Willy's Wonderland's pretty good. But I also think it's real bad, maybe. But I loved it.
Yeah.
I would. Brutal.
I always say like one of the things is like I think people forget like your mood when you go in to watch a movie plays more of a role than you might might be willing to admit. Like if I go into a movie, especially now because we do it for work, so I'm not watching it necessarily just because I'm in the mood to watch a movie, right? If I go into a movie with like I'm having a bad day or I'm really stressed out with work and stuff like that, that can color how I see the film. And a lot of times I'll have to mention that. Like when we went and saw Wonka, and I didn't like it, and a lot of people liked that movie. And I said, full disclosure, I wasn't having the best day when we went to see this. It's fantastic for families, sure. I didn't like it, but subjective.
Yeah, that is true. It depends on how you're feeling. Let's hit some of these super chats because they're piling up and people in the chat are being gay. Shane says, great to see my boy Brett on. And says, be gentle. He's a delicate flower. He says this twice, by the way, in 2 different super chats. Thank you, Shane. Love you.
That is categorically not true. But thank you for spelling my name correctly. They like to the people who are going to come in from our show are going to love to spell my name incorrectly to hurt me in my heart.
Damn. Thank you, John. John Beard, appreciate you. I think I got this one. It says Noah says, so happy I spammed the shit out of this request on X. I can feel the power running through my veins. Now get Cody to the castle or freedom step. Thank you, Noah. I love you.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
well, we're booking out for we have guests from outside on Fridays, so we're booking out this year. So we'll make it happen.
Sounds like a damn plan.
Yep.
Renee Galarza. Already read that one. Truth Matters says test. Kid Flash says Zia, you and me Bolero, January 14th. Sit on my face. Yes.
Apparently, I have a date to sit on someone's face on
What the hell's
January
Bolero?
14th. It's a bowling place.
It's
like a bowling alley.
So does that mean you have to sit on the face at the bowling alley? Because that could, have you ever been like down one of those lanes? Those things are slippery. You don't want to.
They're very slippery. Yeah,
You know,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
This sounds dangerous, Kid Flash.
Cryptic Comic says, have you seen Dream Scenario with Nicolas Cage? I don't think I have.
I have not.
No.
Shane says, be gentle with Brett. He's a delicate flower. He says it twice.
Again. That's just, at least he spelled my name right. Thank you, Shane.
So people spell it with one T just to annoy you?
Oh yeah. It's awful. It's what Brett with one T is just, it's just wrong. It's like Matt, you don't know any Matts with one T, do you? Like doormat? That's just wrong. It's like, it could be worse though. Sometimes they spell Brent, which is just sacrilegious. No Brent.
Oh god.
Brent is a fake name. It's like they were trying to say Brett. They just sneezed when they named them. So just none of that.
What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs in front of your door?
What?
Matt.
Oh,
okay. There you go. There you go.
Thank you, Billy Hatcher says I miss the old days when movies were great. I agree. Monkey Man says making a good movie is the new subverting expectations. Man, God, I don't know what I was watching recently, but I'm so tired of like every scene is meant to subvert your expectations, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's like those scenes in movies that feels like such a cop out where the bad guy's about to like execute the main character or one of the main characters, and then he gets hit by a bus for no reason, and you're like, what?
Why was he standing in the middle of the road?
And I'm like, that's cop out. He like the guy would have, the main guy would have died. He didn't win. A bus just hit the dude. Thank you.
That is how I feel about like movies like Gran Turismo subverted my expectations by being really, really good when in premise it didn't sound all that interesting at all. So, or like think Top Gun Maverick, like at the end of the movie, the competent straight white dude gets the girl and literally flies off into the sunset. I was like waiting for something bad to happen because that's just what I expect these days.
Yeah. That's a great example. Actually, I was thinking of that when you said that. When in Top Gun Maverick, I went and saw it. And now everybody said it was great. So I was like, all right, I'm going to see it. And every scene I thought, so you know how you're used to seeing a movie with an older actor that was an older character, and you're used to them being like depressed and sad and over the hill and not, you know, talented anymore or whatever. And they're constantly shown up by younger women. Exactly. Yeah. And he goes out, Tom Cruise's character goes out in training, in the dogfight training, and just mutilates every single student. Yep. And it's the greatest thing. They don't even get close to like even hitting him once. And it's the greatest shit. I thought somebody was going to like tag him immediately and he was going to be like, I'm going out as good as I used to be. But he was flawless and just killed all of them. And I was like, this is the greatest shit I've ever watched.
And it's a great story, right? Like also like at the end of the movie when we were watching it and like the Lady Gaga song comes on, I'm like, when was the last time you heard a love ballad in a freaking movie at the end? Like I tweeted today, I said, the ending of Con Air is cinema. Because there's the song, How Do I Live Without You? Well, he gets to reunite with his wife and daughter. Like, when was the last time you saw a movie end with a freaking love ballad? They don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Chris Thompson says Star Wars would be so easy to fix. Key is it has to be right in front of our faces the whole time, in a sense. Yeah, I've always said Star Wars is an easy formula to just do well, and they always mess it up. Like
it's an easy formula to do well, but also they need to stop doing it. Like there's too much. And if you're gonna tell new Star Wars stories, the reason I like The Mandalorian so much is because it wasn't the same like Skywalker, like that whole. You got to move away from that world if you're gonna do more stuff within, I guess, the Star Wars world. You got to move away from those characters, but they just keep trying to go back to that. But it's not working. Also, they don't have a plan. They just keep making these movies with zero plan in place and thinking that they're going to bring different people in for each movie. And it just ends up being a fucking disaster. But they need to stop. At this point, I don't even care if they start making good ones. Just fucking stop. I'm done with it.
Yep. The thing that frustrates me, and I say it almost every stream, I feel like now, the thing that frustrates me to no end is the fact that I was watching some kind of YouTube, like maybe behind the scenes, or maybe it was like it was just an interview with a writer or a producer or something. But they were like, yeah, they were rushing Star Wars so hard to make a return on their investment from buying it from Lucasfilm or buying Lucasfilm or whatever. That they were filming the Star Wars movies, the new ones, like Force Awakens, all the way on. They were filming them like as they wrote them.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you kidding? Like they didn't even have a plan. They were just fucking randomly just haphazardly going through it. And I'm like, well, that's the most disheartening thing I've ever fucking heard in my life.
Yeah, and it's kind of that misnomer, right? Where you think that with a budget like that, these would be the adults that have a clue what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then you learn down the line. Think like movies like Waterworld with just the cursed production of the film. Like sometimes they don't have an idea what they're doing. I remember when they were making that awful Men in Black, that new Men in Black movie without Will Smith.
Yeah.
They were saying that like the writing was so bad that both Chris Hemsworth and it wasn't Liam, it was Chris Hemsworth and what's her name, they hired their own writers to come in to like help with the dialogue. And I'm like, how do you do that? How do you do that with the studio? Don't they have to, who's writing this crap?
Yeah, it reminds me of a better example of that. Whereas Johnny Depp wrote the majority of his dialogue. Every single like Pirates movie, as the movies would progress, all the way up until the very last one, Johnny Depp would write more and more of his own dialogue for the character. And by the end, he was writing the entire dialogue for Captain Jack. And I feel like he did such a better job because I love the last one. Everybody hates like the last 3 or 2, or I love all of them. I think they're all great. They all make me feel good.
That's what they should have done with what's his face in the fucking Witcher. If they had let him write more of the dialogue, Henry, that would have been a lot better.
Yeah. Yep. Slosher says, at least you don't have a nanny. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
It depends, to be honest. Thank you, Slosher. Shane says, spell your name wrong, Brett. Never.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
What a nice person the Shane is.
He is.
Olivia Claire says, okay, Brett, stay mad.
That is not nice, Olivia. That is very rude. That is very rude.
I don't know. It looks oddly good with one T.
No.
Oh my God.
You are incorrect. You are incorrect, man.
Don't say that out loud. High Voltage says, how do you feel about derpy looking cats? Justice for Mocha.
Okay. These are they're not trolls, but there's so Olivia, the super chat you saw before that, she has this cat. Its name is Mocha, and it has this derpy, awful, rotten face that just makes you want to throw it out a window.
Already sounds cute. Derpy face cats sound adorable. I don't know. I'm liking this Olivia gal more.
Is it one of the big ass freaking eye, like tongue out ones?
The tongue is out all the time.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Look, if it was back in the day before we had civilized society, the parents would have left it by the lake. They wouldn't even have kept it. They would have gotten rid of it. But she loves her cat, and Olivia's fantastic, but she has horrible taste in pets.
It's like getting a freaking bulldog or something or like it looks like a dog that's got like launched from a cannon into a brick wall when it was born.
Yeah, look, natural selection is a real thing. Polite society has allowed this cat to exist. Back in the day, it wouldn't even have survived.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like 300. You know, like when the baby was born, it had like a short leg, so they threw it off a cliff. All of my animals are beautiful. Like my 2 cats are stoic and beautiful, and like we go outside and hunt all the time. And my 2 dogs are huge. I have a husky who's bigger than a Malamute, so it doesn't really make sense. He's just massive. And then I have a German Shepherd, and they're both stoic and beautiful and monsters.
See? And look, all I'm asking for is a little consistency. We talk all the time here about how Hollywood needs to get back to beauty standards. We just did this whole story the other day about the guy who created Lululemon saying that fat models are disgusting. I said, yes, we don't need to see the people who should be modeling your clothes. The people in Hollywood, it's a visual medium. They should be beautiful. And I just want a little bit of intellectual consistency. The cat shouldn't get a pass just because it's somebody's pet.
That is how I feel about workout clothes. Like I want to see women in workout clothes that make me feel so bad about myself that I'm like, I need to go to the gym right now. That's the whole point of it. Like I want to see women who are so fucking perfect that I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, I don't like how if I was a 400-pound woman and I got a modeling job and now I'm suddenly like a top model and I'm appearing in Calvin Klein, and I'm freaking disgusting looking.
America's next big model. Yes.
Yeah, like a next obese ass model. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not there because I'm beautiful. I'm there because they're trying to like make a statement about fat people, and I would feel even worse in that situation. In my opinion.
They're basically being like, it's okay that you're ugly. That's
I
was just gonna do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck.
Oh, but the thing is, we live in such a narcissistic culture now that I don't think that it even registers to them. Plus, people who like if it's about making money, they might just be willing to sacrifice that level of dignity. Like I always make let me pull it back and make it a clear point with some introspection. I wouldn't ever want to see a model that looks like me either. I want to see models that look like the peak of human performance, right? It's why people get annoyed when you make superheroes with realistic body standards. No, they shouldn't look realistic. They should look inherently unrealistic.
Yes, because they're superheroes. Like that's the entire point.
Dude, that's something we got to talk about is that freaking dumbass lady. And I take this seriously, but that dumbass lady on Twitter that's shitting all over Alan Rickson, saying he looks gross, and I'm like, I will fight you to the death.
Who's Alec Rickson?
Alan Rickson, he's Reacher. He's the star of the show.
Reacher. Oh my god,
Bad Castle.
I'll show you.
Hold on. Cody, you've been
insane.
simping. Oh, you simp over this man the way I simp over Lena. Look, I know. You bring him up all the time. I didn't realize that was his name. Yeah, okay. So I've seen this guy multiple times because of you, Cody. You brought him up. Who said he's disgusting?
I'll show you the tweet. I'll show you the tweet.
I thought it was a troll at first. I thought it almost had to be a troll. It's
That's
good.
like the person that called Margot Robbie mid. I was like, are you retarded? Like, there's no world in which a woman that looks like that is mid.
People believe that.
Look, I understand that beauty is subjective to a point, right? Like everybody sort of has different ideas of what they find attractive. Absolutely. Right. But looking at that woman and saying that she's mid, even if she's not your particular type, is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Even when they're outside of your preference. Like
exactly.
I'm not into certain facial features on certain women. For example, and this is very controversial, and it's always been this way since I was a kid. I've never found Asian women attractive. I don't know why. I just don't. And people are like, wow, you're insane. Like, how could you not? And I'm like, no, I mean, I understand that this one girl that they show, because they'll always want to pick their favorite Asian actress and show me, and our favorite, model and show me. And they're like, see? And I'm like, no, I understand that she's objectively fucking perfect, but it doesn't register. Like, I don't really find it's not within my I find Hispanic women the most attractive out of anybody. Like a nice freaking golden brown, like a French fry.
Like a French fry.
Oh god, I love it.
That's nice.
And then they talk, and then they're like, oh, adios mío. I'm like, it just kills me. Fucking, and they
explains so much.
Queso.
All you have to do to get Cody to like you is to give him some good cheese.
Yeah, and then they're so family oriented, and I fucking love it, dude. I love all that shit.
He does that every time he brings up anything Hispanic. He goes like that's gotta be racist in some way.
No, it's what all their music sounds like that. Even when it's always that slow guitar music from like at the beginning of Coco, and he's watching the documentary about
Coco,
and he says,
yeah, you know that part, you know that part in Coco, Zia, when he's sitting in front of his little TV in his attic, and it's like, and it's like talking about Ernesto de la Cruz, and he's like just playing with the music on the documentary, and he's like,
Ernesto de la Cruz is a terrible person. I found out he's terrible.
But anyways,
stole all those songs.
Love all of it.
So what you're saying is I need to go rewatch White Men Can't Jump for Rosie Perez, like right after I'm done here. I'm gonna go do that.
Is Woody Harrelson in that?
Yes. Yeah. Him and Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, I remember that shit. Captain
Lesser Logic. I finally saw it.
Captain Redbeard says, if you guys want to watch a horrible but amazing movie, then watch Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
I remember that movie.
Dude, it's fantastic. Love it.
That movie was awesome.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I like the bad guy, the like main bad guy is so silly sounding. I love it. Thank you, Captain Redbeard. Speaking of Captain Redbeard, the old mascot for GameStop back in the day, he was on GameStop TV. His name was Captain Redbeard. And as soon as all the store managers were made hourly, they obviously fired him from that because he he couldn't be just filming shit all day. So that was really a really strange time. Thank you, Captain Redbeard. I love you. Appreciate you, my boy. Oh gosh, my throat, boys. It's rough. Slosher. Damn, dame queso, papi. Oh, thank you so much, Slosher.
Slosher, stop turning him on. I have to read the text
Selma
after.
Hayek, then Selma Hayek.
Oh my god, I would literally drown in that.
Dusk till dawn. Yeah,
that lady's fucking labias. Here, like literally gasping for air, and that would be the way I would just kill me. So there's this lady here. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. And you can tell. I think she's rage baiting for interactions on Twitter.
She's impression farming.
But yeah, for sure.
Twitter bucks.
But you know, look, I don't care who you are. He doesn't look grossly buff. He looks like he's, a jacked man.
Yep. That's like as big as I find men attractive. That would be there.
Like
that's it is, but it is perfect. Like he looks phenomenal. Like I would not not lick his abs.
No, for sure. I would too. It's aesthetically perfect in my opinion. This is perfect.
And he's done a lot of interviews like leading up to season 2 of Reacher where they basically asked him about what his workout routine was and all of this stuff. And like they make it. And the point is that if you watch the show, you understand that the size of the character is very important to the story, right? Because they're constantly referring to him as being this enormous dude. So he's always framed in a way that highlights this.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's part of the character. There's a reason he looks like that.
Right. And she's claiming that she says, okay, I'll just read it. I'm starting to lose my voice. I'm actually.
Do you want me to read it?
No, I can read it. I can read it, Zia. I'm a man.
I didn't know you could read, Cody. This is impressive.
It says, you know how men get physically angry when they see an overweight woman? No, actually, I don't. That's how I feel when I see a roided out freak, except it's even worse because people get fat for a variety of reasons. But the only way to turn yourself into a grotesque monster like this is to spend hours in the day in the gym, pumping yourself full of drugs all the time, money and effort, make yourself deformed. It's a sin. So this is very obvious, like outrage forming for sure. It's very, very silly because he doesn't even look roided out. I mean, he's definitely on gear. I mean, he
talks about taking TRT and stuff like
that.
But
not enough for it to be. He's not like you look at a Ronnie Coleman, that's too much.
Right,
like that's fucking crazy to me. That's someone who's on gear. This guy, yeah, you're right. He's clearly on something, but it's done naturally enough that it's not.
And he's 6'5", so he looks like a monster, right? Yeah. So he's a huge dude. I commented right here because this is actually something that has happened to me so many times in my life. A lot of people don't know, but I'm a very large man, a fairly large man. And every girl I meet will always tell me that they think muscles are gross and they like skinny, lanky dudes, blah, 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 blah. And I was like that same girl at 2 a.m. while rubbing my abs and shoulders. Holy fuck, bro. That happens so many times. That has happened dozens of times in my life. And I'm like, it's always like, oh yeah, I love lanky dudes. And I'm like, do you? Or is it because you haven't either experienced or you're not interested in like, or you've never acquired a guy that's jacked, so therefore you do not know, right?
Maybe that's what happened to Taylor Swift. She's dating a football player now, and she's like, holy shit, he's not a tiny musician.
Yeah, exactly.
Pick you up and throw you around.
Yep.
Gosh. Oof, my dude, every time I cough, it's like, it feels like there's my entire esophagus is an open wound. It's brutal.
Do you have like tea or something? You're drinking a Monster. I feel like you should be drinking hot tea.
Yeah, I'll drink it later.
Do they make hot tea Monster? That'd be gross.
That would be disgusting.
Awesome. No,
hot tea Monster.
I should have drank some hot tea mixed with rum or something. I feel like that would have been a good thing to do. Slosher says not to be pedantic, but Con Air ends with Steve Buscemi, sort of.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. That's not the closing scene. Look, this is why I hate the internet in a lot of ways, right? Like you understood what I was saying, but you are technically correct. The film does end with Steve Buscemi in the casino, but I digress.
Yeah.
This is why you can't fight with people on the internet, right? Because everybody's like you know what I meant. Somebody knows what I meant, but then they go around and like, but you know what I was talking about. It's a distraction.
Yeah, I love that movie. Every time I think of Con Air, you know how like things just appear in your brain. When I think of Con Air, I think of that scene where like the camera's panning over and like Nicolas Cage's eyes are closed and he's like looking looks like relieved and there's like wind blowing and his hair is flowing in the wind.
Because it became like a meme, right? Like that became a gift. Very popular gif, right? Also, one of Chappelle's better early Chappelle in '97 because he's in that movie. It's fantastic. It's so good.
What a great freaking movie. Derek now says, Cody, Z, and Brett, what about Sisu and Cocaine Bear? PCC for life. So I have not seen Sisu, but Critical Drinker also said Sisu was awesome. So I need to watch that.
I've heard so many mixed things about Cocaine Bear.
Same.
I never ended up watching it because some people said it was terrible and some people loved it. Did you see it, Brett?
Yeah.
I loved it. I had a really
right.
great time. I had a really great time with it, but it's dumb fun, right? It didn't try to be more than it was. And the other thing is like, that was the Elizabeth Banks movie. So I went into it expecting it to be awful. So it's like when you go in with your expectations so low, maybe you're just like relieved that it wasn't just feminist garbage. So I had a lot of fun at that movie.
Yeah. I think I've been, what's the word? I've been, God, what is that? What is the word? Fuck, it's when you burned. I've been burned by that fucking the sloth movie. The fucking sloth slasher movie. It's called Slaughterhouse, maybe.
What the hell movie is this?
I was so angry. I was so angry because I made a fire and I drank, I was drinking my whiskey and I was getting good. I think I had taken some, I can't remember, and I was tripping balls. And I was watching Slaughterhouse, and that it felt like 7 hours. And the sloth is just like slowly doing something, and then he like cuts off somebody's head somehow. And I'm like, what the fuck is? And I remember turning it off and going upstairs and laying in the bathtub. I was like, I will never. And I'll be scrolling through Hulu or whatever, and I'll see Slaughterhouse thumbnail, and I get like physically upset.
Like you start retching, you're like sense memory. You're like, this is bullshit.
Oh, God. I was so angry at Slaughterhouse. It ruined my entire night that night. I had everything planned. I had a girl over. She had her ass cheeks out. I was getting drunk. It was awesome. And then I watched Slaughterhouse. God, it ruined the whole night.
She's like, I can't trust a man with this bad a taste in movies. She's like, just never again. She's like, I'm out of here, dude. Never again.
But he doesn't get to smash any pissers. That's unfortunate.
No pisser smashing that night. No, it's like that time I got just wrecked. I don't remember. Couple weeks ago, I got brutalized, and I was hanging out with a girl, and I couldn't do anything. There was nothing happened. There was no way in hell anything was happening. I was so messed up. Steve says, I relocated to SoCal 4 years ago. So many Hispanic women. God, I love them.
That's true. SoCal has a lot of Hispanic women.
The unfortunate truth, though, is, I've hooked up with Hispanic women, of course. And the unfortunate truth is every one of them, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it must be culturalistic, obviously, but they are so jealous that it's terrifying to see. They will like threaten to kill you. They'll kill you. They'll kill your whole family. They'll like, oh, I have cousins. That'll kill you. And I'm like, bro, for one, we hooked up once, and two, like, we're not in a relationship. And they trip balls. I had one girl one time just show up, and she had like leftover food that she made, and I was hanging out with another girl.
Oh fuck, that's horrible.
Little brown girl shows up at my door, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I thought she's gonna kill me and everybody inside. I was like terrified, and I had just hung out with her once, and it was like kind of lame when we hung out. Look at that. Like Sonia's like jealous. I'm just protective. She's Hispanic. Yeah, okay. All right.
It's somehow even worse that it was also mediocre when you hung out and she's still really, really obsessed.
Yeah, it's got to at least be like mind-blowing sex for people to get that way. Otherwise, what the fuck?
I guess you were better for her than she was for you.
That's the thing. Dude, I've literally been in situations where, I'll hang out with a girl and I'll, dump a load, and it will be awful. It'll be, I was weak. I lasted like 2 minutes. It was terrible. The whole night was awkward, and then she's just in my DMs, just like, we need to hang out again. When are we gonna hang out again? And I'm like, why would you hang out with me, dude? It was
I feel
awful.
like these girls need to get laid more. I feel like they need to get laid more. They need to get more dick so that they know good dick from bad dick. Because if you get confused by bad dick and you think that's good dick, and then you end up in that's just all bad.
But it'll be very helpful for the next guy who doesn't go 2 minutes, and then he'll be like a god to her.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true, but not if she keeps trying to slide into the DM of 2 minute dick guy.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's the dangerous thing, is you'll be used to, either like maybe the person you're dating or a person you're hooking up with, and they're either terrible or underwhelming, and then you hook up with somebody else and you fall in love with them, and you're not actually falling in love with them. But you can always just become celibate after you already had sex with 1,000 men.
Saw that.
Wait, what?
So Summer Rae says she's fallen in love with celibacy. So if you want
God,
to
look
date
at
me,
her ass though.
I would eat it like groceries.
Jesus
She's like,
Christ, I want to
we're-
bounce things off it.
we're waiting till marriage. And I'm like, but you've already been ran through. I'm so confused.
She fucked 1,000 men?
I'm sure she has.
That's a lot of guys.
Even if it's not 1,000, just imagine being that guy who's like, so now I have to be the one to wait. Are you fucking kidding me?
Exactly. Everybody else got this for free, and now I got to pay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
No way.
I saw her. She came into the restaurant I used to work at in LA. She's really pretty in person.
Oh my God. I Googled her, and the first question on Google is, what is so special about Summer Rae? And I clicked it.
Her ass.
And it says her natural beauty.
Oh,
Who wrote this?
Summer Rae.
She's
Her agent.
beautiful. But
No, she's really beautiful.
she's
though.
beautiful, but like, what am I looking at? I don't know. It looks like she's just like a streamer, maybe. I don't know what she is.
I think she's just like one of the original influencers. She has like an amazing ass. She got really big on Instagram.
She's 27 and she's a former competitive bodybuilder.
She was
Okay.
a bodybuilder? Huh.
She doesn't have bodybuilder physique right now.
She doesn't, but
No.
if she took any kind of low dose Anavar, she got ran through. You can't stop that stuff. Low dose Anavar makes women like literally have to throw away their underwear every day. You know what I'm saying, Zia? You know what I'm saying, Zia.
Stop telling people, Cody.
That Dan's Dan's-tastic says, speaking of which, taco flavored kisses are the best. Freddy Got Fingered is one of my all-time favorites. The legend. Did I miss Cringe of the Day? Dude, I'm telling you
Daddy,
what.
would
Freddy
you
Got
like
Fingered.
some sausage? I remember trying to watch that movie when I was a kid, and my auntie, this is when I was living with my auntie Becky. She came in the room and was like, watched it for a second. She was like, absolutely fucking not, and turned it off in the middle of it. And I was like, what the hell?
So great. It's so strange. It's so strange. There's
weird.
so many weird things happening. Like he's just randomly has a tiny little quarter pipe and it's like little awning thing, and then there's just every scene's just completely random. He's working at the cheese factory, and like it's all so strange. I love that movie.
That are hard to make these days because they don't make any money because they end up going straight to streaming.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, so I said I watched Mean Girls earlier. I watched Mean Girls for the first time in a long time, and I'm like, God, this is just like a kind of a classic, enjoyable film. And it reminded me, and I probably because Rachel McAdams, but of Hot Chick with Rob Schneider.
Yep.
And
I loved that.
oh my
movie.
God, I rewatched it recently.
You can put your weed in here.
Yeah, I thought maybe it had aged poorly because I was a kid. You know, last time I watched it, I was probably 13, 14. And the Rotten Tomatoes score is so terrible. So I go look, and I'm like, I'm going to watch it anyway. Fuck it. I'm drinking, you know, and I watch it. And I'm laughing so hard that I'm in like tears. And I'm like, this is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, how does this have such a low freaking score?
Because
Rotten
critics
Tomatoes.
don't like comedies. Do you ever
They're
notice
highbrow.
any good? Yeah, they're
Yeah.
highbrow. Any good comedy that we might enjoy, like Old School is another good example of a great one. Any movies like that, they're not going to get good Rotten Tomato scores, but typically the audience will love them just because it's meant to make you laugh.
That's how I feel about Not Another Teen Movie.
Yes. Yes.
It's as close to a masterpiece as you're going to get from that time period, and very, very quotable. That and Wayne's World. Wayne's World, so an extremely quotable movie, granted from a different time period. But yeah, they're not big fans of comedies because they're all highbrow and stuck up their own ass.
I know. Like,
I hate them.
fuck up.
But if you make the movie an allegory about depression or like pregnancy, it gets a
Then
freaking
they love it.
100 score every time. Ashley,
Ashley.
hey all, especially Zia. It's
Hi.
always Zia and not me. I can't look at him and not think
Because
of
I love
BMS.
her.
What the hell's BMS? BMS.
I don't know. We're all trying to think
Is that
about
like
BMS.
PMS for men?
Boys
menstrual
system
cycle.
Wait, what syndrome? Boy
Syndrome.
menstrual syndrome.
Let's wait. She'll say it in the chat probably.
She will.
My throat.
Unless she's working and got a call, though. She could be working and got a call.
My throat. Oh my God. Johan. All these gold boys, son. Cody's favorite horror movie is The Joy Luck Club. Let me Google it. Here
The
we
hell
go.
is that?
The Joy Luck. I bet it's a freaking gay film about gayness.
If it was a gay film about gayness, you'd have already seen it.
That's true. Like, what's that movie? I used to like.
Oh, Blue Mountain State. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Blue
It's a bunch
Mountain
of
State
Asian
was the
women.
one with Alan Ritson.
Yeah.
Seen it.
It looks like some Asian film about Asians being Asian. No.
That's why
There's-
you're saying it, because you said you weren't attracted to Asian women, maybe.
Okay. Yes, that actually makes way more sense now because it's a horror movie because they're yeah, thank you. That makes sense. Thank you, Johan. It's a clever joke that I missed because I'm sick. So there was a movie I used to really like when I was a kid in the 90s, and it was about like a musician or something, like a classically trained musician, and trying to do a thing. And it was on VHS, and it was called fuck. I can't believe I can't remember it. I'll never, and no one in the chat's ever gonna get it because I'm saying stuff so vague.
What was it about?
It's like a classically trained musician, but it's like modern day kind of, but it's in the 90s. And
Mr. Holland's Opus?
no, it's got a weird name.
La Bamba?
What the fuck?
La Bamba would have been good.
No, it's
that movie made me cry so much when I was little. I remember like little I watched that and like just tears streaming down my face when he died.
Or Selena.
God,
I never saw Selena.
Yeah. I'll never get it. I'll never remember it. Fuck, that's crazy. It's
now it's gonna bother me, and it doesn't. I have no ties to it, and it's gonna bother me now because I'm not gonna know what it is.
Yeah, because once someone brings it up, you're like, "Fuck."
Somebody in the chat said The Pianist.
No,
is that the one with Adrian Brody?
That's Adrian Brody.
High School.
In World War II. Yeah, no, it's like just a movie, and it's like it's guys trying to do a thing, and he's like
I need to know what the
thing
is.
Telling us so much. Guys trying to do a thing.
I'm trying. What is it called?
What is the thing?
I don't know.
I'm surprised we haven't guessed it from all this information you're giving
radio.
us.
No, he's not. He's a musician. What the
Billy
hell?
Elliot? Somebody else said Billy Elliot?
Isn't that the dancing movie?
That was like a play, right? That's I didn't see it.
Maybe.
I don't go to plays.
It's not like Amadeus, but it's like
Beethoven with the dog?
No, it's
Crossroads.
It's got a
Britney Spears.
The sound of the title is similar to like Amadeus or something. It's like fuck, I can't believe it. Anyways, well, I'll figure it out and I'll let you guys know.
Ooh, I like to cross the universe.
Carnell says Carnell Williams. Hell yeah. Says longtime lurker, first time super chatter. Hell, Cody, evening Z, and what's up, my boy Brett? Cody, please have Brett explain his love and appreciation for the ending of Slasher Classic Stream.
Of what? Of Scream?
Yes.
Scream is a masterpiece. We ended up getting mentioned before the show today.
We were literally talking about that. That's so funny.
I could give you 10 different explanations of why the ending of Scream is a masterpiece, but I just to me it's more to do with the fact that I don't even know what he's referring to here, but I like several times a year I will watch that movie because to this day I've never gotten the urge to go see a place where a movie's been made, but I want to visit that house that they shot that final scene of the movie in, where basically all the kids die in the house at the end, and then they get the guy, and they have this amazing crane shot as Gail Weathers is giving her final report over the sunset, or I guess it's sunrise. And apparently once a year that house goes up on Airbnb and you can rent it out. Like, I'm gonna do that when I've got the money. He wants a Ferrari. Like, you want a Ferrari? I want to go rent that house out. Yeah,
that would actually be really awesome.
Yeah. Everyone should go rewatch those first 3 Scream movies. Even the 4th one isn't really all that bad, given the fact that it kind of came out at a time I don't know if either of you guys saw the 4th one.
No, I actually just rewatched all 3 like around October time because I was like, fuck, I haven't seen these probably since I was a kid. And they're so good. They're so good. I wasn't expecting it.
All the reveals for the bad guys are fantastic in it. And I still want the voice changer with like other people's voices on it that he has in the 3rd one, right? But the 4th one in the series deals with the idea of narcissism and social media clout. And this is in 2011, where basically they become killers because they want to be famous, because everyone's on the internet, and the only way to get famous is to just do crazy shit. And this is a decade, before this would have been really, really a big thing. Like, you weren't even dealing with like the modern tech that we have now, and the themes were actually pretty far ahead of their time.
Well, and if you think about just serial killers in general, oftentimes serial killers do it because they do want to be famous, and they get these special names like the Green River Killer or whatever it is. They go to prison. Women for some fucking reason love murderers and write them letters and stuff. A lot of the time, it's
hybristophilia. It's called like hybristophilia, like that's the attraction to serial killers. But like, think bizarre. Like in the second one, the Mickey character, he's just evil and wants to go on trial and be famous for for killing people. And that's he's like I'll get Dershowitz and Cochran to represent me. And it's really, really funny because you see that stuff and it sounds insane, but it's really not that far off with the amount of people that do crazy shit in the world these days just for likes on social media.
Yep. It's that stuff is, and again, even before social media, they were leaving calling cards, calling police officers. Like this has been a thing for, you know, a long time.
Also, when people talk to you about like strong female characters, horror movies are where you saw a lot of them back in the day. The character of Sidney Prescott manages to make it through all of these movies alive. And she's very much her own person and her own character and is constantly being put in danger and somehow getting like the upper hand. So love those movies.
Yeah, they are really good.
Yep.
All right. I think it's Rigoletto.
I've never heard of that in my life. Is that what you
never heard of
it?
That's why it was so hard to find, but I'm pretty sure it was Rigoletto. All right. So, thank you, Shadow Gal. Says just found out Prey movie won an Emmy for writing and sound design. How in the world? I forget that movie even was made.
What?
Yeah,
the Predator.
Yeah, where she kicks his ass.
I hated that movie.
Yeah.
I
thought that was 2020. I thought that was 2021. 2022.
I feel like it was. Well, it might have been.
I don't think it did particularly well, did it?
No, I mean it was Hulu, so it didn't go to theaters. But like, I didn't know that movie came out this year.
Thank you, Dan. Billy says I'm playing classic THQ game right now on my channel. I miss the good old days of games, good games made for kids, like Medieval. One of my favorite games of all time, Medieval, and it's I don't know if it's a kid's game, but it's
THQ. They did a lot of the wrestling games too, didn't they?
Yeah. THQ. I think they finally shuttered their doors, like in the mid 2010s, maybe. I can't remember now. Thank you, Billy Hatcher. I appreciate you. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like like when it comes to Oscars and awards, it's all bullshit.
Doesn't matter
because, like for example, the greatest films of all time don't win Oscars, or the greatest performances of all times. Like how Matthew McConaughey didn't win an Oscar for Interstellar is unbelievable to me because it's like a perfect.
I also feel like it's just one big circle jerk. They're just all congratulating themselves and they're so fucking self-important. Like nobody gives a shit.
What?
Self-important. Do we just pretend like T's don't exist in the English language, Cody? Is that what we're doing?
Is this a Hawaiian thing or something?
I don't know. Maybe. No one ever started noticing it until I moved here, so I guess it's possible.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know if you know, Brett, but Zia's Hawaiian, but she's white. Look how white she is.
I'm very white.
They make fun of how I talk all the time too, so it's perfectly fine.
Same, but it's because I have a redneck ass accent. I can't really help it. Dark Chaz, Cocaine Bear was the best comedy of the year. Take your shirts off. Thank you, Dark Chaz. Appreciate you, my friend. Another orange boy. Thank you. That puts us 5:20 until Naked Snake and Naked Zia. We're almost halfway there. Oof. And we're halfway through the show.
Was good. Cocaine Bear was good.
My throat, man. It's crazy. I haven't talked this much in days. I have actually not spoken at all. And I just noticed that. It's actually weird. Something you don't really notice until you do it. But I haven't talked at all in the last like 4 days. So I've been talking a lot this show, and I'm like, my voice, I'm starting to lose my voice. Yeah, it's crazy. Thank you, Darth Chaz. Speaking of losing our voice, so as we're all aware now, the Epstein list was kind of dissected and people went through it. My favorite part about it is the fact that all these like left-leaning commentators or people on Twitter were claiming Trump was on the list with zero context. And I'm like, that's so disingenuous. Like, look, I'm not even like a Trump supporter or anything, but the only time he's mentioned is when it exonerates him completely. It's so silly. And they're like, yeah, he's in there, and without any context, and it's so silly. But people like, the first guy that was mentioned, what's his name? Alan Dershowitz, is that his name?
Yep. Yeah, the stuff about Dershowitz was crazy.
Yeah, like, do you see any legal ramifications for any people that are in this?
No. I mean, I tend to believe that most of them won't spend a day in jail. I think most people feel that way. He has any faith in the system anymore, right?
Agreed.
It is super disingenuous. Like one of the things that I always point out is that if you go on Hulu, there's multiple documentaries about Epstein. And whenever you see whenever you click on something on Hulu, it shows like a picture. It's trying to advertise the movie. They always put up the picture of Trump standing next to Epstein at a party. And that's done because they want to paint Trump with the same brush that Epstein was, despite the fact that there's no evidence that it was anything like that. He's photographed with thousands of people who did nothing wrong because the dude, you know, he rolled in the circles with elites. He was always going to parties. He was always hanging out with these people. It needs to be more than there's just a photo with him if you want me to believe that somebody actually did something. And that's the list is it's kind of depressing in a lot of ways because people were like talking about it like it was a rap album drop. Like, when's the next drop come from Epstein's list? I'm like, the crimes these people are accused of are absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
And it's become, it's just, we live in such a desensitized culture that the number one thing that's come out of it is all the Stephen Hawking memes. That's what's
my God, they're so
good.
good.
All the Stephen Hawking memes.
Yeah, especially the one where it shows him save what's her face.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name now. I haven't watched it in so long. But he saves one of the daughters. The older daughter.
Oh, from Spy Kids or whatever.
Yeah, and he
see the one.
He like takes off in his chair, and it's like a helicopter, and it's like
I've not seen this one yet.
I like the one where he goes to the bottom of the ocean, where he's just like he just to the bottom of the ocean. That's what it is. Did you hear the Andrew Schultz? Have you ever heard the Andrew Schultz bit talking about it?
No.
He's talking about Stephen Hawking and God, and he's like, Stephen Hawking, who looks like a puddle. I looked at him. He absolutely does look like
he does. Yeah. It's brutal. And it's weird because, you know, he has ALS, or he had ALS, and Jason Becker, one of like my favorite guitarists of all time, he has ALS, and he looks so much better. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still, as far as his face goes, he still looks relatively normal.
Yeah.
He's obviously in a chair, and he has a breathing tube and all that, and he's hooked up to a ventilator, but his face looks normal relatively. But dude, Stephen Hawking's was fucking mutilated. Yeah. He was all discombobulated and brutal looking. And I'm like, that's crazy. And it's probably because of how he sat up in his chair. They lay, I think they lay Jason Becker down in his chair, and like when people come over, like they can shift it up to where he sees everyone. It's really weird.
Yeah, I don't see anything coming of any of them. I'm also really jaded when it comes to this stuff. It's just another day, nothing changes. It's the same thing with Disney, right? Like another day, another movie fails. Guess what? Nothing changes. It's pretty blackpilling. If you pay close enough attention to the news cycle is so fast and so much happens where so little is ever actually done about it. It's hard to feel all that hopeful when nothing ever seems to happen to any of these people or companies.
Brett, I'm literally right there with you. That's to everything. I don't think anything's going to come of this. I don't think anything's going to happen. People are going to be distracted by something else in the 24-hour fucking news cycle because some other shit's going to come out. They're going to completely forget about it, and then we'll just move on. And every once in a while, you'll see a post of someone being like, hey, whatever happened to the, wow, we didn't see anything off of any of those people off the fucking, what's the lit? And it comes up, and then it goes away, and that's it.
It's like when the FBI does something horrendous and you find out 30 years later, and people got awards for it back in the day. It's like the Ruby Ridge incident, for example. There was a guy, or Waco is a good example as well. There was a guy, he was living off the grid, and he had some kind of small weapons charge, which he had a failed to appear like warrant or something. And instead of just serving the warrant or anything, all these FBI agents dress up in ghillie suits and just like crawl through the woods in like to his cabin. And his son is just walking the dog outside.
Shoots at him.
Yeah. And they shoot at the dog. One of the FBI agents shoot the dog. The kid doesn't know what's happening because he's a kid. The kid's carrying a weapon, by the way.
Yeah.
So the kid
shoots at the agents.
Fires and hits one of the FBI agents in like the leg or something. They blow the kid's face off. And then they immediately kill his wife, who's like looking out the window or something. And then there's like a 19-day standoff where they get him to surrender, and he comes out. But then retrospectively, he did sue the FBI, and he got his children got $1 million each, and he got $100,000 settlement.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that brought his kid and his wife back.
The issue is the FBI agents, like 2 of them were promoted, and all of them got awards. It was considered like a big success. And I'm like, what the fuck?
And one of the dudes who was like one of the most important people from that time period was eventually like tapped to run the ATF and then didn't get confirmed, if I remember correctly. Not that long ago. Yeah.
It's just like Waco. It's all these people taking pictures beside burnt corpses and like giving me thumbs up. And I'm like, that's like a
it was Waco. Yeah, it was Waco that happened.
It's crazy.
The guy who led the raid who led Waco, like eventually came up for head of ATF and didn't get the job because people are like, yeah, that's a bad look.
God, it's crazy. And
it's wild to see the difference too between like, and this is on a much smaller scale, but when I was in high school, we got raided by the DEA. And when they come in, they have to, when they're doing a raid like that, they have to bring the local police with you. And just, it's so wildly different the way you're treated from the local police versus like the DEA. Like the DA told me they were going to shoot me because I wanted to go check on my 5-year-old little brother because they were like carting everyone away in fucking handcuffs. And I was like, I want to go, this was at like 2 different houses. I was like, I really want to go check on my little brother. And they were like, if you fucking walk up there, you're going to get shot. And like, I remember he walks away and I was sitting there just like, what the fuck do I do? And the local cops come in and he's like, look, you're not going to get shot. Just wait a little while and you can go check on your brother. Like you could tell the local cops felt so bad. Like they were being so nice and so kind. And it was just wild, the difference. You're sitting there watching it firsthand. You're like, what the fuck is happening?
It's like when people claim that if the government told soldiers or what have you, soldiers at their disposal to do heinous shit, they're like, well, the soldiers wouldn't do it if it went against their morality. And I'm like, you have no idea how this works. And they would do it in a heartbeat. And that's just like that. A good example is the FBI. It's like look at Richard Jewell, the guy at the Olympics bombing that like found the bomb, and then they investigated him for over like a year trying to make him the suspect, and he was just a dumb fat guy that found the bomb and saved everybody's lives. Very, very, very silly. Very silly. What's up, Hypnotic, in the chat? I hope you're doing well.
Hey.
Helena, I'm sick and just woke up from a nap watching Cody stream, and one of my dreams. It was weird. How is everyone doing? I'm doing terrible. I'm very sick.
Helena and Cody are sick.
Very,
I hope you feel better.
Feel better.
Yeah.
Do you guys get like weird dreams when you're sick? Like, do you have like really, really vivid dreams?
Drink some tea and drink some really hot tea mixed with some alcohol, and then eat like some ramen, like some gross ass, just like 27-cent ramen, and then go to sleep, and you'll like dream about nuke bombs and zombies and shit, like peeling your skin off.
I don't know what it is, but when I get a fever, I get like bonkers horny. I can't explain it. Don't know why.
You get a fever. You 24/7.
Because you're in. That would just mean that you're in heat. Literally in heat.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's just like the way that my skin feels when it gets touched. I can't explain. It's very bizarre.
Up. You're just got some you text me at random times of the day, and you're like, bro, I'm turned. I'm like, wow, what the fuck happened?
I think I have ever said that.
3 p.m. on a Tuesday. What the hell is going on?
You don't use the word turn, but yeah, you just say crazy shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's when I photoshopped your face on the whore thing.
Oh yeah, but no, that was in context. That wasn't just random. That was, we were talking about something within context.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyways, it still was the same meaning. Johan says Hawking had a hot nurse wife who would crank his jet for regular, but I can't get a text back. It's unfair. Well, he was rich as hell. If you were worth like $100 million, you would have a hot maid that would finish you off all the time.
You get the happy ending massages every day.
It's a very good reason to go and make more money.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want Consuela. Like if I was rich as hell, I want like an overweight 48-year-old woman to clean my house, and then I'm just gonna sit on my bed naked with a heart on and be like, "Come on, Consuela."
Essentially, you want to be what's his face, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And she just polishes me off.
That was how could he do it?
I'm like, yeah, it's great. Just keep it
Arnie with just like the ugliest maid you've ever seen, who knew his wife and kids. It's just wrong, man.
I know. Everybody looked at her and they were like, I mean, I guess. Look, here's the thing though. Sometimes the hottest girls are the worst in bed, but like because they never had to really do anything. You know what I mean?
Like they had to learn. Never learned how to try. Yep.
Exactly. And then oftentimes it's the ones that like are maybe a little more homely looking or maybe a little bit bigger. They work a lot harder.
Well,
he's like, look, I turn the lights off and it's just game on. Let's freaking go.
The issue is the maid exhibited like a real woman attributes. Whereas, like, maybe whenever his wife or Was it who was his wife? Maria Shriver?
Shriver, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Shriver.
she's like not cleaning. She's not doing any of that. She's not a traditional woman. So he has this maid. Adios meal. She comes in and she's cleaning. Yes, sir, Mrs. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And she's like, oh yes, I make you some queso and some rice. And you're like, oh yeah. And you're like, you know what? I just want to dump a load in this woman for some reason. You know, because she's a real woman. And you know she's getting sloppy too. Sopping because she looks kind of old in this picture. I don't know what it is about girls that have a little bit of age on them, but they leave a slug trail everywhere they go. It's like the biological clock is like breed me now.
Hey man, that's
no resistance.
That is Chris Pratt's father-in-law you're talking about there. Be very careful.
No, that's true.
Yep.
Wait, what? Hold on, Chris Pratt.
Yeah, he's married to their daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Hold on. Now I'm getting into going down the rabbit hole. Chris Pratt wife, Catherine Schwarzenegger. Are you kidding me? I bet she's hotter than hell. She's kind of beautiful. Yeah.
Have you seen Stallone's daughters?
She needs a lip flip though.
No.
Look up Sylvester Stallone's family. His daughters are ridiculous.
And he looks like a damn mob boss now.
Yeah. Well, his wife must have been super hot.
Yeah. She
obviously
still is. But but he did Tulsa King, so he basically is a mob boss.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all unbelievably hot. Every one of them. God damn. Jesus Christ.
I looked at that. I'm like, because he has like a reality show with them. And I'm like, did they cast these women? There's no way that they're all this hot.
You look at that sometimes and you're like, how the fuck? Because you look at the parents and you're like, I don't understand how they came out of that.
We were just and I'm not going to be able to remember it off the top of my head, but we were just talking about that just the other day about some actress who has just very, very like homely looking parents. And it's just like, how did you create that? We have no idea.
Dude, I see it all the time. Dude, you'll see Ass Girl is a great example. Her parents are little goblins. And she looks perfect.
Does she know if you tell her every once in a while that her parents are little goblins?
Granted, are they ass goblins then? They're literal ass goblins?
No, but like granted, her dad when he was 20 was like perfect. He like looked perfect. Well, so that's a little bit of a wrench into it. Nowadays, obviously he's older, much older. But I don't know. I never found her mom attractive at all. Like even a little. And I'm like, well, how did you come from this? And she's more attractive than her dad. So it's like, well, how did this work? It's like my parents, my mom's 4'11, my dad's 5'5, and I'm almost 6 foot.
What? I didn't know that. How did that happen?
They're all like my mom is like at my damn waist, and my dad's like right here. And I'm like, why are you guys so little? It's really weird. It's my great grandfather. His name was Christopher Columbus. What was this like? You will laugh at me. Chris Columbus. What was his last name?
Consuela.
No, I forget his last name. I don't know. I don't think his last name was my last name. I can't remember now. Anyways, but yeah, his name was Christopher Columbus, and he was apparently like 6'4", and that's apparently where I got from. Because my parents are tiny, and my sister's tiny.
That's wild. That doesn't even make any sense.
And my other brother was tiny. Yeah.
You got all the height in the family. You stole all of it.
he just took it all.
I took it all. Yeah, when I go to like a family gathering, which is very rarely, I think my last time I went to a family thing was coincidentally when my grandmother died, because they were all there. And I was like standing in the room and everybody was so little. Like every woman is like 4 foot something or 5'2". Yeah. And then every man is like 5'5" to 5'8". And then I'm like 5'11", and with my boots on, I'm like 6'1". So it's hilarious. Carnell says, here's a 20. Have Brett make you watch The People's Joker.
Oh man, you're gonna have to watch that sometime. It's the movie about the guy who made the trailer for making a trans Joker movie.
Oh my god.
Have you seen this?
No.
Go on YouTube and look up the People's Joker. Just Google it and it'll be the first thing that comes up.
The People's
and
Joker.
make your audience watch it. They won't thank you later, I promise.
Okay, so it says welcome to The People's Joker. Or what? I wonder which one it is. There's so many of these.
It's just click on the top one. I bet you it's the right one.
This is somebody reacting to it. Hold on. Here, I'll just pull it up. It's probably the second one. Here we go. Is it this one?
It's it should be it's just that one right there, the one you were just at. Yep.
This one right here?
Yep.
Oh my god. Hold on, let me get my speakers ready. Wait, I gotta wait for Zia to get back.
Yep, she's gonna love it.
She's not allowed to miss this. Thank you, Carnell. I appreciate you. That puts us 480 something, 484 until neck and snake. We're almost there. Oof, my throat is killing me. It's rough. I forgot to mute my mic. I apologize, guys. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll pull that up when Zia gets back.
Yep.
Yeah, this is it's weird. This sickness is strange. Because the first day I had a cough and I was like, and it was fine, you know, it was just literally a cough. And I was like, well, this is annoying, but it's just a cough and it doesn't bother me. And then the second day, I started feeling a little weak. And then the third day, I couldn't sleep and my whole body felt like it was on fire. And
that's the worst part is when you can't sleep, right? Because then it just feels
8
never
a.m.
ending.
I was up until 8 a.m. the other day, just sitting there in bed.
Oof.
And then that was 2 days ago. And I'm like waiting to feel better. And I'm just not. Every day I feel the same. I'm like, this is lame.
How long in total now? Like a week?
Since Monday, yeah.
Oof.
Well, that's when the cough started. I didn't start feeling bad until Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's hopefully it goes away soon.
All right, you ready, Zia?
This is again. We have a rule on our show, like on the Friday show, and we have guests on now. I play them this trailer, and there's literally a rule that says if you want this turned off, you got to super chat $20 because it's so awful. They now just somebody super chats. They please turn it off. It's terrible.
Oh my God. Well, all right, here we go.
Hi, I'm Vera Drew, and 3 months ago, comedian Brie LaRose dared me to re-edit Todd Phillips' Joker. Now, I'm an Emmy-nominated editor who works primarily with Tim and Eric, so I could give you your standard alt-comedy Joker remix with fart sound effects and rhythmic cuts over nightmare drones, and you gobble it up, wouldn't you little piggy? But I'm currently unemployed and stupidly ambitious, so for the past 3 months, I've been writing a feature-length screenplay called The People's Joker, utilizing clips from the 2019 Oscar contender, footage from other iterations of Joker's past, and just movies that feature clowns, as well as additional footage that I'll be shooting in the privacy of my own bedroom. I'm creating an entirely new feature film. You heard me right. This is my feature film acting debut, and I will be portraying both Harley Quinn and the Joker. Using these characters, which I definitely don't own the rights to, I will be sharing the story of my transition and how I overcame mental illness and the cycle of abuse that I was stuck in a few years ago. It's your standard queer coming-of-age story, only it takes place in the Batman universe. But wait, that's not all. I'm a huge fan of Suicide Squad, so The People's Joker will not only be the first film to feature a trans woman playing the Joker, it will also prominently feature Jared Leto's seminal portrayal of the clown prince of crime. And no, I don't have his permission to use his likeness. I plan on using deepfakes, but the way I see it, this can be his way of apologizing to the trans community for Dallas Buyers Club. Plus, Jared, baby,
yeah, please look, someone save us.
Everybody knows you were pissed Todd didn't cast you in his Joker. Don't sue me, be in mine. And you know what? I misspoke. This isn't just my Joker. This is our Joker. That's right. I'm opening up the creative process to any and all quarantined artists, musicians, filmmakers, or actors who want to contribute to my vision. Do you want to design this film's Gotham City? Visit thepeoplesjoker.com. Do you want to play the fucking Penguin? Then visit thepeoplesjoker.com. Do you want to record a cover of Small Town Boy by Bronxy Beat that'll be playing
Thank God, Holy Ozone.
Yes.
Our hero. I was like, how long is this? That felt so much longer than fucking 2 minutes. Holy Ozone, you're the GOAT, man.
Yeah. The thing is, though, that's getting a theater release. That's getting a small theater release. Okay, that got bought.
Why?
It got bought by a distribution company that's coming out this year in 2024. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Was it Tommy Wiseau? Did Tommy Wiseau buy
that? No, he did not.
Wish.
I don't remember the name of the company, but yeah, that's gonna. I mean, it's not gonna get a wide theater release, but that's. They think that people are gonna go pay money for that.
Oh man.
God, Jesus, it's like I'm covering my transition, and I'm like.
On Friday, we played it for our guest, and like somebody sent $20 and said, "Stop it now, please," and then somebody sent 100 and said, "Start it up again."
Literally, someone in chat just said that 100 to make it come back on.
Yep,
that's
100 makes it come back on.
Yeah,
it's sociopathic to have to watch that more than one time.
Oh God!
And it gets worse. It gets worse towards the end.
It was like one of the worst infomercials I've ever seen in my life. That's really trying to tell me something that I just don't want.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yeah, we're gonna clear our palette with Tommy Wiseau now.
There you go.
His Joker, like which I honestly think him being so strange and awkward would probably make a decent Joker.
Yeah.
Because like, it's like when child actors are young enough to be they're good because they're children. Like they, what is the word? When you see it, when you interact with a child in real life, they're really awkward and strange, and they seem like they're forcing their like act. It seems like they're acting. So when you see a child actor acting, it's like every kid you've ever interacted with. So it's like very natural.
Yeah, we roll.
Look at him. Look how cute he is.
Doesn't kill you, make you stranger.
He's so beautiful.
Love him. I just love him.
Joker. It's simple. We killed the Batman. Have you ever danced with a devil in the pale moonlight? Did you? No.
God, he's beautiful. Like, how can you not hate? How can you not love this man?
Why is he doing like a vaguely Middle East, why is he doing like a vaguely Eastern European accent?
No, that's his accent. That's
Polish.
Okay. He always tries to say that he's from New Orleans. Like that's been his whole thing, and everybody's like, dude, there's no fucking way. But he like won't admit. Yeah, like he wouldn't admit for years
very recently
where he was actually from.
Yeah, people would say, "Where are you from?" And he's like, "I'm from Louisiana." And they're like, "What?"
He's like, "I'm from Jean-Claude Van Damme land." That's where he's from.
He's like, "Oh, I'm from Louisiana. It's fine." And they're like, "What the fuck?" And like he was on a talk show recently, because he went on a big media tour because Disaster Artist came out.
Yep.
And
great, by the way.
Jimmy Kimmel or somebody asked him, they're like, "Where are you from originally?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm from Poland." And they're like, and then like, what's his name? Who's the other guy in it? The guy that did all of it?
Oh, the one that got canceled afterwards.
James Franco.
Yeah.
James Franco looked at him and he's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "You've never said this publicly. What are you talking about?"
And then he just drops it like so casually. For years, people were asking him, and he refused to say where he was from. No one knows where he got his fucking money from. He just had all this money to make the room, and everybody just he's like this weird enigma that just popped up out of nowhere, and he's super rich.
He's a mob boss, or he's like
he has to be
family of a mob boss.
Maybe he's like maybe his family moved to Poland. Maybe his dad was in the KGB, and then he was born in Poland with a bunch of arms money.
You would think, something weird's going on. Rob says, "So you can turn this off now." Thank you, Rob, for saving us. A lot of people actually tried to save us.
A lot of people tried to save us. We love you guys. Thank you,
Rob. We love you. We appreciate you. Johan Noxo says, "Off."
Thank you, Johan.
At the same time, a boy. Dan Zatastic says, "Here's the 20. Please stop." Thank you so much, Dan Zatastic. Would you like some sausage? Yeah, dude. God, I can't swallow right now worth a damn. So I've been trying to eat. My favorite thing in the world is chips and salsa, and I'm starting to slowly come off my cut diet. I can't even eat anything right now because everything sucks to try to eat.
You gotta get some popsicles.
Yeah, I've been sucking on some Halo Top ice cream because it's high protein, low carb.
That is not the way I thought you were going to end that sentence.
Could have gone another way. Could have gone another way.
Darth Chaz says, "No."
No.
I appreciate you so much, Darth Chaz. 4 Orange Boys in a row, or 3 actually, or well, 4 technically. And then there was Ehef says, "I'm 6'1", 260. Out of 8 male cousins and uncles, the smallest one, my grandparents, my aunts, all under 5'8". Family picture weird. It is weird when it like skips a couple generations. It's really, really strange. Thank you, Ehef. Somebody's asking how I'm sick. I think I have a cold. I was standing in line at a club. I know it's pretty gay sounding, but I was standing in line at a club because it was New Year's Eve. And every New Year's Eve, I'll go out. Like, I don't like to go to clubs. I don't like going out. It's not my thing. But on New Year's Eve, I'm going to go do something. I just want to make sure. I like to dress in like really fitted, like tailor, like suit kind of without the blazer, and like have a nice tie. I like to look good. You know, I have a picture of it somewhere. I look real ridiculously huge in the picture. It's hilarious. I'll pull it up here in a second. But then I go out and then I drink a little and I just dance until they count down the new year and then I leave. That's pretty much all I do. But I was standing outside in the line and it was like 28 degrees for like 45 minutes. So that's probably what got me.
That could have gotten you.
Helena, why care? Gave me our salesperson vibes. Oh God.
I actually really did. It looked like one of those used car salesman fucking commercials, the local ones they put on where it's just the guy that owns the company.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Did
yeah.
You see like, have you seen the video? It says like come to ISIS Toyota.
I actually think so. Yes.
Yeah, it says not that ISIS. It's a different ISIS.
Yeah. It's when I was growing up. So I grew up in a place called Gadsden, Alabama.
Okay.
And if we had like obviously like basic cable, and every other commercial was like, come down to Johnson Ford, you can get yourself a new F-150. And then it like just shows like the camera pans, and then like the guy walks into frame and he's like, or this brand new Ford Fusion, spacious. And then it like, and I'm even doing a better job than they do. And then all of a sudden it'll just be like a little kid, and she's like, come down to Johnson Ford. And you're like, what? And then it goes off. I'm like, what
Yeah,
the
it's their kid.
God, why would this is awful? And it plays like it plays every time a commercial happens, it'll play that one of those.
Yeah.
I'm like, please stop. Here's the picture of the New Year's Eve crew. God, my coughiness, my throat's just tickling the whole time. It's just tickling. Here is my New Year's Eve crew, who is, I think they've been my crew for like at least forever. It like the last couple of years anyway. And I look like a reacher guy or something. I'm like
you do.
Large man in this picture.
That's so snazzy. What a snazzy outfit. I like the red tie.
My red tie. So I tied it myself.
And it matches Ask Girl's dress.
Yep.
She looks so pretty.
Yeah, it was I had to remember how to tie a tie. So I was like putting it on, and I was like wrapping it around, and I eventually got it. I was like, oh shit, I did it again. Dan's Atastic with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, my friend.
Yep.
Big throwdowns from my boy here. We're closing in slowly on Naked Snake. I'll do the math here soon. We got a little bit of time left though. So my nose, God, I have my hanky. It's just a washcloth. This is rough. Rolling new. This one's for Tommy, the legend himself. And I guess you guys rock too. Great show tonight. Thank God that trailer's off. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have now unlocked the key formula for everybody to make more money is to just threaten people with that trailer, and then be like, "You can make this stop anytime."
I'm actually surprised it went as long as it did.
Yeah.
I think people were just sort of like hypnotized for a while.
Yep.
They're like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yep.
Before it hits them that it's awful and it has to be turned off.
Sadly, if we go review it, like being sober now is going to make that a lot harder, because going and having to sit through that movie will be a whole ordeal.
Oh, are you going to watch it? Are you going to actually watch that movie in theaters? I guess you have to, right?
We don't have to, but it could make for a funny review if we can, if it shows at a theater near us. Though maybe like if they don't show it, like I don't want to go see it at an AMC. I want to go see it at a theater where I can actually like recline the chair, right? Like I don't want to have to go to like a theater that doesn't recline to watch that movie. I have to at least be comfortable if I'm going to have an hour and a half or 2 hours of my life ruined.
That also seems like a movie. I know you probably couldn't do it because you're reviewing it, but that does seem like a movie you'd want to watch drunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's the only time I'll never forget that time. This was a long time ago, but I like pre-gamed and was hanging out with some friends, and they're like, we need to go see a movie. So I like hop in my car. Everybody's way too drunk. I'm like the least drinking guy. And I drive to the theater, and we got like Jack and Cokes until we're like blackouty, and I had to get an Uber home. I don't even remember what we watched. It was something terrible, but it was a great night. It's a good night, man. Thank you, Yeedy. Says Cody, it'd be cool if you were on Pop Culture Crisis. Thank you, Yeedy.
Yes, we will. We'll work it out. We got it. We're like we book out. We do guests from outside the company on Fridays, so we'll have people on this year. We'll make it happen.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Yeedy. Mick Sandman says Duck and Zia. Don't forget, anal is not comparable to spelunking.
Well, shit. I thought it was going to be like spelunking. That's what I was told. This is bullshit.
Just the
I'm
tip
taking
of the
it
thumb.
back.
I've never been into the thing, but I can like tip a thumb. That seems to always work.
Tipping a little thumb in there.
Yeah, just the tip of your thumb. I'm not into anything else, but it always works. It's like immediately, just so fast.
Wait, works with what? Coming or
Yeah.
Gauge the reaction.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah.
That's so fast.
Are you talking about a thumb in your ass or in her ass? Okay, I thought so. I figured. I was just confirming.
Oh, thank you, McSam, man. I love you. Roland says, have you seen Big Bill Hell's Cars? I have not.
Nope.
It sounds terrible. But I'm gonna Google it. It's a movie that I really enjoy that I watched like the other day. Starship Troopers.
That movie is fucking awesome. Also still holds up. I've seen that so many times over the years, and it's just even the CGI is actually pretty impressive when you watch it to this day.
Yep.
Yeah, it still looks great when the bugs and I think they're kind of cute, the bugs. Like,
The,
well, the main ones.
I feel like
I'm guessing
told me
like a
that.
lot of it. I'm guessing a lot of it wasn't as much green screen, right? It was just CGI on top of actual footage from a real location. That's why the movie The Creator works so well, is because he went to actual physical locations and filmed them, and then they layered the CGI on top rather than building it all from scratch. That's why movies like that hold up. Yeah, Dina Meyer back in the day. She's Dina Meyer's great. She's great in that movie.
People are saying that was the Big Bill Hell's Cars is a commercial. Is it anything like that one guy that sells trailers? He's like, I sell trailers. If you don't want one, don't come. Not luxurious.
Novel idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's in Alabama too. It's an Alabama commercial, just like those commercials. I'll pull it up here in a second. High Voltage says, Brett, what would it take to get Mary to watch and give a comprehensive review of Freddy Got Fingered on PCC?
Look, I don't know Mary's sensibilities. You know, I don't know if that's something that she would be willing to do. And if she did, I don't think she would be very happy with you after watching it. So we'd have to, we'll work that out on Monday's show. We'll see if there's anything she's willing to do, super chat wise, whatever the goal can be to do that. But we did get her to watch the Star Wars Christmas special over the holidays. So, you know, anything's possible. Anything's possible. Yep.
All right, so this is in Coleman, Alabama. Thank you, High Voltage, again. Appreciate you. We're closing in. We're really close to neck and snake. We're getting there. We're 50 or 60 away now. 360.
Get it.
So this is in Coleman, Alabama. It's about 40 minutes away from my house. It's where Channing Tatum grew up.
Oh,
so this is a real commercial from back in the day.
Hi, I'm Robert Lee. I own Coleman Liquidation. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to tell it just like it is. These are mobile homes, not mansions. They come in two pieces. If that's what you're looking for, that's what I got. They're used. Some of them have stains. We cover that up. She sells them. These guys help me move them.
What the fuck?
A bouncer in Birmingham hit me in the face with a crescent wrench 5 times. And my wife's boyfriend broke my jaw with a fence post. So if you don't buy a trailer from me, it hurt my feelings. So come on down to Coleman Liquidation and get yourself a home. Or don't. I don't care.
His wife's boyfriend, huh?
It's so beautiful.
Actually amazing.
It's a great commercial. Like, it's legitimate. I would go there and buy I don't even need a mobile home.
I was gonna say I just want one now. I want to buy one from this guy.
The thing is, like, he's just talking about trailers. He's like, she sells them, blah blah blah. You know, there's stains, we cover them up. It's a trailer, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's like, I got hit with a crescent wrench 5 times. You're like, what?
I like the sound effects.
Yes.
Super epic. God.
That's a really good commercial.
Also, like, let's face it, like, one of those girls that sells them makes a lot more money than the other. I can already tell that the younger one is making way more money.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It reminds me of what was that? It was something about a barbecue joint. This black guy. He's like, come on down to something barbecue, and like an NBA team picked it up, like 10 years ago. An NBA like official, like actually like represented or talked about it or sponsored it for like 2 seconds. I think it was that one team. I can't remember. Golden Phoenix. Fuck, I can't remember. Anyways, yeah, it was a meme for a while.
Yeah.
Come on down to barbecue, barbecue. So yeah, somebody in the chat will get it here in 2 seconds. They'll understand.
It's like, have you ever seen the fake commercials for the guy it's like whites only laundry?
Yeah.
And he keeps getting in trouble because the name keeps getting him in trouble. And then it's no coloreds allowed laundry.
Oh my God.
No, that's great.
It's beautiful.
By the third version, he's like crying because he's just like, I can't figure it out.
Oh, Hiller, my boy Hiller, says, hello, gang. Hello. The college football world is going to be turned upside down next weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Season. Have you seen Noah? Yep, I've seen it.
So apparently it's pronounced Niga, but I don't
Oh,
know.
he's fucked. Yeah.
I know it's gonna be
he
so bad.
is not fucked. All of the announcers are fucked.
Yeah.
The announcers are screwed.
They need to come up with a nickname with him fast.
Yeah,
They're just gonna have to call him Noah. Like
Noah.
Just
Noah.
Just forget the last name. Pretend like his name is Noah.
It's like what? It's like what in Korean.
Yeah.
It's
yes.
the same word.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. Like, just imagine like every classroom he went into growing up with a new teacher, like we were talking about earlier. And they like, I'm sure with some students, like if they saw my last name, they might just wing it and see if they can get it right. But with him, he got pulled aside in every class, and they're like, Noah, could you like, how do you pronounce your name? I don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah. Thank you, Kay, to the Swiss. Another 5 from my boy. Every show, every video. Somebody said Jones, good ass barbecue and foot massage. Yep, that's it.
Yep.
Jones, good ass barbecue and foot massage.
It's a great name.
Yeety Spaghetti said that was a Rhett and Link commercial. Yeah, that was Rhett and Link in the commercial. Yeah, I actually remember this from a long time ago. It's like really, really old.
Rhett and Link also did the Rhett and Link also did the one with the roller rink, roller rink to keep kids off drugs. Have you ever seen that one?
No.
Look up Roller Kingdom, Rhett and Link. They do a lot of these commercials. If that's an actual Rhett and Link commercial, you might have to end up pulling this after.
Yeah, it's the exact same piano note as that last one. Yeah. So basically, the cool thing about the streams on YouTube is it used to be a pain in the ass, but now it'll just put a little question or check or an exclamation point on your stream, and you just hit it, and it will say from like 2 hours and 10 minutes to 2 hours and
just cuts
11 minutes. A thing was played. Do you want to remove it? And you hit yes, and it takes like 1 second. It's really cool.
Yeah, we have to do that. Like
awesome.
we do that sometimes with trailers and stuff. Like we'll want to watch it live, but it's going to get you copyrighted afterwards. But yeah, the Rhett and Link one with the roller rink is really, really funny. It's kind of the same thing.
We'll pull that up. Yeah. By the way, guys, I apologize in the chat. I am like 10 out of 10 sick right now. I'm just trying to survive. So thank you guys so much. Please do me a favor though, because I'm sick and only because I'm sick, like the show. Stop being bitches. Get us to that 500 like goal. And also we are 340 till naked snake and naked Zia.
Very close.
I've danced with shirtless sick before. It's not a big deal. Tristan says, "So bitches, how you doing, Tristan?" All right, let's pull up this commercial. Thank you, Tristan, for your goal, boy. I love you, my friend. Thank you. So it says, "Say no to crack, say yes to roller skating."
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's pull it up. Come on, kill it.
Hey, kid. Would you like some drugs? This one is free.
Want to check out my van? I got some candy.
Hey, kid. Want to join our gang? Hey, paint under a bridge?
No, bug off, man. I'm going roller skating.
Oh my god.
I want to be addicted to roller skating, not track. Because we roller skate today, we will go to college tomorrow. Prison is full of people that have never roller skated.
I'm Brad Armstrong, owner of Roller Kingdom in Reno, Nevada, keeping your kids off the streets since 1999.
I say no to drugs. I say no to gangs.
I say no to unplanned pregnancy.
I say no to meth. I say no to reefer. I say yes to roller skating.
Man, this Roller Kingdom is really putting us out of business.
You said it, man. This deal sucks.
But you know what? Maybe we should give up this life of crime. Roller skating!
Amazing. That poor old guy's so old.
I know.
I feel like they would constantly warn you as a kid that you were going to be getting drugs out there for free, and then you grow up and realize no one's giving drugs away for free. Like that's not a thing.
That's not a thing. Look, I asked that question. I said, look, in all of the years that I did all the drugs, nobody just came up to me and was like, "Would you like some for free?" Here you go. That never happened. That's not real.
No, you have to buy drugs.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah, I remember them saying that. Like drug dealers would go to like playgrounds and reach like baggies of little drugs into the like through the little chain link fence to kids. And I'm like thinking to myself, back then it was terrifying, but like I think now I'm like, God, we were stupid as hell. No drug dealer is going to give a 9-year-old drugs that he can't even buy any more of for free. It's so stupid.
Yeah, no, it's retarded. Same thing with like drugs and Halloween candy.
Yeah.
Or like giving out, like who would, that kind of stuff is super expensive. Who's just going to give it away to children?
Yeah. There's actually like, there's a really good, like you can find articles about it, how that was like one of an early form of like American mass psychosis, like that. And also like, did you ever hear the thing about like you'd, if you put your finger in like a payphone in the slot, like there would be like a needle that was going to give you AIDS.
Oh, Jesus. No, I don't remember that one. Yeah. That's bizarre.
So these are all things where like there was some reporter who did a whole article on like, I did a bunch of research and no candy ever just gets free drugs in the candy. That's not.
No.
I remember the one where they would say that before I started driving, that when you go to a gas station, like people put like razor blades with like HIV infected blood on the gas pump.
Yeah.
So when you went to grab it, you just get AIDS. It was a good one.
Who are these people with like AIDS samples that they just put on stuff to go around, right?
Yeah.
But then sometimes you'll see videos and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I actually believe that this shit could have happened or was happening. Because you remember the videos for a while where people were going around and taking the tops off ice cream and licking them and then putting them back. And you're just like, dude, what the fuck? Why? Yeah. Why would you do that? Some people just want to watch the world burn.
I forgot about that. Yeah, but that's for clout. People do that now because they post videos of it. They're doing it because they're insane. Also, like a couple of those people were like, no, it's fake. I bought it. I'm like, that doesn't make it any better. You still made the video and made people afraid to go and buy ice cream from the store.
Yeah, don't fuck with my ice cream, man. I have very few joys in life, and that's one of them.
One of the girls or guys that did that got sentenced to like some pretty harsh shit.
Yeah. Good. Fuck them.
It was like contamination or something, or like it classified as terrorism or something ridiculous. And I was like, damn.
Have you guys ever seen that fucking, it's this like, I think she might be Hispanic, but I can't tell, girl that does pranks on YouTube. And she's like, tries to get this YouTube prank clout, I guess. But she'll just walk into like TJ Maxx's and random stores like that. And you can tell they're not in the best areas of town. And she'll just like, walk up to someone's cart and stare at them and then just take stuff out of their cart and throw it on the ground. But then just look at them. And this is like her prank channel, but none of what she's doing is a prank. She's just kind of fucking with people in really weird ways, but then she won't say anything and she'll just look at them. It's so fucking weird, the shit that people try to do.
You got to move to West Virginia where that guy tried to do that with the dude in the mall and got shot.
Yep.
Ooh.
West Virginia.
That's great.
Yeah, that's the one thing that doesn't happen here. So I live in Alabama, obviously, and no one tries breaking my house. No one says anything out of the way. It's just so normal here, and it's because people know, right? Also, it's I live in a good area, but even if I didn't, like I have multiple 12 gauges, I have multiple AR-15s like in my house. You just don't break into people's houses in Alabama, and I'm not even like really a gun guy. I just have a lot of guns because I live in Alabama. I guess I don't know. I buy like one every couple of years, and that's been like 15 years now. So
it's part of your culture, Cody. Hamburger Helper and guns.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Fucking love Hamburger Helper.
Hamburger Helper is delightful.
It is.
Do you train fairly regularly? Do you get out to the range at least?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a new 12 gauge, coincidentally enough, a new 12 gauge and an AR recently, and I went to the range twice and just went through them. It was fun.
Yeah.
Sighting in my new red dot, my AT3 tactical. Slaggless. Here's 2 for the Goomba flopping on the table. There ain't no flopping for that little bastard, unfortunately. It just exists. Thank you, Slaggless. Hiller says, I hear Zia will wash her piss stained hands at 450 likes.
Not 500. I'm not washing my hands till 500.
I feel like
500 likes.
A white woman thing. Why do white women not like wash their hands or brush their teeth?
I brush my teeth twice a day. Thank you very much. And I wash my hands when I go to public bathrooms and stuff like that. But if I pee at home, and I'm telling you, I pee every like 30 minutes. I drink a lot of water. I'm not washing my hands with soap and water every time I pee. I just peed. There's not anything on my hand. When I'm at home, public bathrooms are different.
I feel like last time we hung out, your breath smelled pretty bad though.
Why do I talk to you?
I'm just kidding. Actually,
why do I talk to you?
I actually noticed that your breath didn't smell that bad, which is interesting.
It's because I brush my teeth and I floss.
Yeah. Thank you, Mintrex. Says there is a funny Dexcellent ad from New Zealand. Pretty sure it's banned here too for all the innuendo. Thank you, Mintrex.
I love seeing like European ads and stuff because it's shit that you could never get away with in the US. They're always so sexual, innuendos. Like they're fun. They're way more fun.
It's because in the accent, it sounds like he's saying dick. I've seen that. Yeah.
I like that. Instead of deck, because the accent makes it sound like dick.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's a funny one too. I think you can still probably find that one on YouTube. That one's good.
Oof. All right. Thank you, Mintrex. Appreciate you. My voice is slowly getting more deeper because it's getting destroyed. It's hilarious. Just talking is like destroying it. Johan says, Cody says no to heterosexuality every day. Thank you. Yeah, Johan, I appreciate you. I was like looking forward to Saturday. I was like, I'm going to do my show Saturday and then I'm going to stream my alt channel, play some Resident Evil. And I was like, there's no way in hell I can do that. I will freaking die. Because as soon as this show ends, I'm going to go lay in bed, like wrap up in covers and then sweat, but be cold. Thank you, Johan. I appreciate you. Roland, can you play a Big Bill Hell commercial? I'll enjoy it. Let's get naked. Yeah, I'll search for it. Thank you, Roland. I appreciate you. I love you. Damn. Or no, it's Demon 20 Child. Hey, Brett, what skateboard deck brand does Tim skate?
Right now, I think he uses the ones that his company makes. I think he has Timcast branded decks. So he would Dicks. There you go. Right, like that commercial he was just talking about. I think he has his own branded ones. I don't know if they're still selling them. They did have a bunch. Like they did an event in DC last year and gave a bunch out free. But you'd have to send him a super chat on IRL and ask him.
Mine, the ones I used forever were I think they were called Alien Workshop. Maybe I might be wrong. I had to look. I have a bunch of them in my music studio that I used to skate. Then I started working out, and then when I started gaining like a lot of mass, I was like, "Oh shit, I can't skateboard anymore." Because if I skateboard and I break my arm, I lose like 8 years of muscle mass, like gain. Yeah. So I'm like, "Well, can never skate again." So now I just like hang them up in my music studio. One of them's thrashed to hell and back though. It's hilarious. Thank you, Demon. I appreciate you so much. We're closing in on that neck and snake. Let's bring up the bills. Bigs, bells, bigs, bells, bells, bigs, bigs, bells. Is it supposed to be like a freaking tongue twister? Big Bill Hells. Okay. Oh, I've seen this. Yeah. The fuck you Baltimore thing. Yeah. Here, I'll pull it up. Yeah, I'll definitely get hit for a few of these. I've already got hit. It like showed me in a little thing. It was like, your stream may be blocked after post. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'll fix it.
Fuck you, Baltimore. If you're buy a new car this weekend, you're a big enough schmuck to come to Big Bill Hell's Cars. Bad deal. Cars that break down. Thieves. If you think you're going to find a bargain at Big Bill, you can kiss my that you're such a stupid motherfucker. You'll fall guaranteed. If you find a better deal, shove it up your ugly ass. Shove it up your ugly ass. Bring your tray. Bring your title. Bring your wife. Real fucker. That's right, real fucker. About 6 days from Sunday, take a hike to Big Bill Hell, home of challenge pissing. That's right, challenge pissing. How does it work? If you can piss 6 feet in the air straight up and not get wet, you get no down payment. Don't wait, don't delay, don't fuck with us or we'll rip your nuts off. Only at Big Bill Hell, the only dealer that tells you to fuck off. Hurry up, asshole. This event ends the minute after you write us a check. And it better not bounce or you're a dead motherfucker. Go to hell. Big Bill Hell's Cars, Baltimore's filthiest and exclusive home of the meanest sons of bitches in the state of Maryland. Guaranteed.
Damn, I'm in Maryland. I wonder if I could meet these guys.
I was gonna say, that's the only place I want to buy cars from now on.
That yellow is the ugliest yellow I've ever seen in my entire life.
The yellow best part was like, bring your wife. Well, fuck your wife. All those cars were so awful looking. God, the like late 70s, early 80s was like the worst period for cars. Holy shit.
Boxy as hell.
They were like, they all look like Chevy celebrities. Like, oh God, those just long ass, terrible looking cars. Oof.
There's also something about convertibles that I hate. I don't know what it is, but a convertible never doesn't look cheesy to me.
Yeah. Every time I'm looking for, so when I was getting my, I was trying to get the Ferrari F430 or the R8. And you can't find an F430 under like 120 grand. Or back then you couldn't. Now they've dropped, of course. And I was like, well, I can get a stick R8, like a manual. And the Spiders, like the Spider V10s are like the same price as like a manual R8, like a stick. And it's because the Spider is like newer. It's a V10 and it's an automatic, obviously, but it's a convertible. And for some reason, they just do terrible in the market.
Yeah, because convertibles, when you think of a convertible, you think of a fucking balding man who's having a midlife crisis who buys a convertible to look cool, and it just never looks cool.
It doesn't, no, unless it's a Jeep and it has like a roll bar that's open.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. That's different. That does.
It has been classified as a midlife crisis mobile, basically.
Yeah.
For most
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
And I did that. I'm 30. I'm about to be 34 in 2 months, and I bought a midlife crisis mobile. It's just not a convertible.
There you go.
It's just an R8. It's just it's
better.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful car. Helena, I love you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Helena's so good to me. Roland says, thank you, Cody. Thank you, Roland, for your constant support tonight. It's been insane as hell. We're officially 290 from Naked Snake, and we still got a little bit. We still got about 30 minutes left. Thank you.
Make it happen, guys.
Yeah, listen to the Brett. Stop being
yeah, make it happen. I'm hot. I want to take more things off.
All right, now just calm down.
I'm just saying it's hot in this room.
2 on the nose. All right. Yeah, make me get naked, you filthy bitches. You filthy bitches. No, I want to pull up that picture. So Zia said something the other day.
You don't even remember what it was.
It was hilarious. You said something about being turned. And
not me. I don't do that kind of thing.
You said something to the fashion of I'm too horny for my own good. That's what you said. And
I would never say that.
I immediately sent this to you.
Dude, so fast he sends this to me. I was like, how did you do that so good? He did it so fast and so well.
Yep, it's so beautiful, and
it's really nice. I saved that. I'm gonna
that is some strong Photoshop right there. That's good.
Impressive, right?
Yep.
I did it real fast. I literally. I was sitting beside my fire, and she said that, and I'm like a sucker for like a good joke. So I get up and I run upstairs and I open like Photoshop and I fucking start working on it as fast as I can, and then I email it to myself and I run back downstairs and I send it to her.
Dude, you sent that to me within like 2 minutes. How the fuck did you do that on Photoshop and then email it to yourself in 2 minutes?
Yeah, and I was looking at it, waiting for you to reply. So I was like, please reply, please.
I'm picturing you like laughing as you're making it. You're like,
I'm sure he was giggling like a schoolboy.
Yeah. It's my favorite.
I saved it. I'm saving that picture. I like it.
It should be like I wish it was wider and not tall so you can make it your banner.
Kind of innovative. I should make that. Yeah, turn it sideways somehow.
Turn it sideways.
Figure it out.
Saw says, hi, Brett and Cody and Zia Muscle Mommy. Did Hannah ever finish the Fast movies?
No, I can't speak for whether Hannah Claire. She also had a bet where if we got to a certain amount of super chats, she had to watch every Fast and the Furious movie. I don't think she got through all of them. I think she might have gotten through like number 6 or number 7, but I don't think she made it to any of them after that.
How many are there now?
There's like 9.
10.
Or
10.
Jesus.
Good Lord, that's a lot.
Yep.
I've
I
only
had to
seen
stop after 3, I think.
Apparently,
I love all of them. They're dumb fun.
Yeah, it's apparently Tokyo Drift's great. I've only seen the first one.
The first one is a legitimately good movie.
It was great.
The first one is just Point Break with cars.
Yeah, I watched it. I think I watched the first one in theaters when I was a kid, and then I watched the one where Paul Walker's CG half the time.
Yeah, that's 7.
Where it's like it's been a long day. That's and I haven't seen anything other than that.
Yeah,
that was great though.
They're good. They're very silly and they're a lot of fun. I enjoy them.
Captain Redbeard. I'm trying to survive. My my voice is getting progressively deeper and deeper, and I'm like, oh no, I'm about to lose it. It's about to go away. I'm gonna sound like a squeaking like animal tomorrow. Mizu. Captain Redbeard says, for Zia wanting less clothes, Cody, you should drink hot tea, honey, and whiskey in it. Should make your throat feel amazing. I will do that directly after the stream.
Isn't that a hot toddy? I've been telling you to drink freaking hot toddy for days now.
You have been, yes.
Son of a bitch.
You literally texted me right before the show and told me to do that, but I did.
And he just replies hot titty. I'm like,
why do I did do that.
As one does.
Obviously.
Yes. Thank you, Captain Redbeard. Appreciate you. We're closing in. We're like 270 or 268 away from Naked Snake. The Naked Snake's always down to the wire every show. I don't know how we've kept it for so long.
Make it happen, guys. I don't want to be the one who doesn't let it happen. I don't want to be on the show where it doesn't happen.
Everybody says that. Everybody says that because it's been 240 or 258 in a row, I think.
Holy shit.
Which is
amazing.
like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And it's always like right down to the wire. Like last show, I was like, it was like I was about to get off. It's like 5 minutes before getting off, and I was like, we're gonna raid my other channel, and then like 3 Red Boys came in back to back to back, and I was like, well, I guess we're doing that today. It was hilarious. Thank you, Captain Redbeard. Appreciate you, dude. What was your favorite movie of the year, Brett? My favorite movie of the year. I'll just give you mine real quick. My favorite movie, and I won't count Oppenheimer since I watched it in January, but I enjoyed Godzilla -1 probably the most.
A lot of people did. The Gran Turismo is probably my favorite movie.
Yeah,
you told. Yeah, like, look, I'm a sucker for a sports movie all day. Yeah. Like, I just am. And I had a lot of fun with that one, or The Killer, probably one of those two back to back. There was a lot of them. There ended up being Sound of Freedom was really, really good. There was a lot of good movies that came out this year. It's just there was a lot of garbage too, and that's the problem, is navigating through all the garbage and finding the ones that actually work out well.
Yep.
What about you, Zia? What was your favorite movie?
I'm gonna go Oppenheimer for mine because I just enjoyed it so much. I'm gonna watch that again when it's out on streaming, which it's out on streaming already, right? Like,
I watched it the other day.
Yeah,
I thought it was fan-freaking-tastic, and I love how Oppenheimer is just banging bitches all the time.
Yeah, he's fucking everyone. Good for him.
And he was a ladies' man.
Yeah, and you get to see old Pew's titties in it.
They were weird looking.
They were weird looking. Yes,
I said when we got done watching it, I said they look like reverse teardrops.
Yeah. I think the reason I appreciated it was because they're so weird looking. So like, I think
unique titties.
Well, no, it's the thing is, I feel like so much in movies. I think Scarlett Johansson did it recently, where in every nude scene for a lot of actresses, they'll just either get a body double or it'll be CG to make them look better, or they'll get a body double so it's not really them. I really respect the fact that Pew put her freaky looking titties on screen.
I also liked Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, which was I thought a really good Mission Impossible movie. It didn't even do all that well, but I thought it was good. And Equalizer 3 with Denzel Washington.
Oh, you know what? I forgot about that. I really liked that. That was a fucking good ass movie. I didn't see Mission Impossible, but I did see Equalizer 3.
Yeah, it was filmed on location. It was a beautiful scenery. The whole every
Italy?
set was gorgeous.
Made me want to go to Italy so bad. It's one of those movies that you watch it and you're like, "Fuck, I got the travel bug now." It was it was really beautiful, and I liked the story. And you know what? They really made it work with Denzel Washington getting older. They made the action scenes work. It didn't seem cheesy. Kind of like, did you see The Irishman?
Yes.
When they de-aged Robert De Niro and then tried to have him doing these young guy stunts, but he has an old man body.
Because he moves old.
He moves like an old guy. Yeah, like you have to be kind of more careful about your choreography when you're working with older actors. But I think they played it really well.
Yeah, and like just the scenery alone is enough to sell me on that movie. It really, really was. It was just gorgeous. And there was like I said, I mentioned Extraction 2 with Chris Hemsworth was really, really good this year. Yeah. It wasn't it's not that it was a bad year for movies. It's just that the bad stuff was like Indiana Jones 5 and The Expendables were enough to ruin the year for everyone. There was also this really bad movie on Netflix called The Mother with Jennifer Lopez that I almost called Netflix and asked for like the last 2 hours of my life back. It was that bad.
No.
Hold on. Oh, that's the one where she's like a CIA agent and she goes into a cabin.
So believable.
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so
I watched that and I remember I was just on my phone the whole time because I was bored.
Yeah. Because she has no personality. She has not a single emotion, which means it's just like her in real life too. So it was awful. I just, when I was watching it, I just pictured how sad why Ben Affleck is so sad every time they take a picture of him and her together.
That short video, Zia, where Jennifer Lopez walks to the car door and they're beside each other and she's in the door and he just slams the fucking door. Hilarious.
He basically turns away from the car and it's just like the meme of him smoking the cigarette where he's just like,
Dude, the amount of memes that are coming out that I keep seeing just from Ben Affleck living life is just like you almost feel bad for him, but he chose it.
Yeah.
So, like,
he just has a face of existential sadness and dread all the time.
Here it is. Look at him. He looks so worn out. Watch him slam this door. It's hilarious. This is the most beautiful thing you're gonna ever see. Watch him.
You get your foot in there. Get your foot in there.
Oh, he looks so fucking done. Oh God, look at this guy.
Makes me want to go watch The Town again.
You can tell he's been through the ringer. Yep. And also the fact that what we don't see is normal ass people, if you would call us normal ass people, is these people are suck and they're weird and they have crazy opinions and whatnot. But Ben Affleck's like his work ethic's retarded.
Yep.
Like he's done so much. He never stops. He's always going. He's probably so stressed out all the time. And then he also has to deal with like a rich Hispanic lady all the time. That's probably like, you open the door for me now.
He also like for him, he's also like, because he's in recovery, right? Because he's an he deals with alcoholism. So and then the other part, the other kick in the teeth for it is like you see pictures of him, like they take pictures of him with his ex-wife Jennifer Garner, and he always looks really happy and not sad. So now he's just in a prison of his own making.
That sucks. And it's so weird because I remember him talking, not that I like follow celebrity relationships all that much, but I just remember him talking about, because it was all over the place, how he felt trapped in the marriage with Jennifer Garner. And then now he's gone and he's clearly not faring much better.
Nope. He's even more trapped now.
Yeah.
Poor bastard.
That's so sad. That's so sad, man. It just goes to show that no matter what you accomplish, like you're still like a person.
Yeah.
Shit gets old.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's one thing with men, and I can attest to this from the other side of it, is men will become like obsessed with a woman if she's attractive, if they're on the outside looking in. Like there's a lot of guys in like Zia's chat that's like, I would die for Zia. I would take 5 bullets in the face just to make sure Zia like gets to live another minute. That's how they are.
That far.
There are people out there, and it's because they want to smell your farts. Like they want it all. And the issue is being on the other end of that like scenario is what I'm saying? Like if you're with a woman that's everybody considers beautiful and fantastic and has a great personality, you're with that person like in a relationship. And like you get bored. Like everybody gets bored. And bored's kind of a bad word, I guess, if you're in this scenario, but everybody gets bored in relationships, and it's your way. You need to work through that.
Well, you become accustomed to it, right?
Correct.
So it's not new.
It's not
like
special anymore.
Like a lot of people, you got to deal with the honeymoon phase of those relationships and learn to appreciate it for what it is beyond just the outwardness of like somebody being attractive to other people.
Correct.
Because that's not good either, because then it becomes like a weird form of idolatry, and that's not good either, because then it's not even footing in the relationship. Have you ever seen those videos? Did you see the video that was going around today of like the simp who gets kissed on the cheek by this streamer, and she just looks like she would rather be anywhere in the world?
Is it the Twitch mod guy?
It's not Amaranth. There's the famous one of Amaranth, but there's like another one that was today, and it's just soul crushing. Like it's unbelievably soul crushing to look at what this dude puts himself through, and if anything, it just makes me feel sad for to be that pathetic. Unfortunately,
the Amaranth one was
the Amaranth one's famous.
That one was painful.
It was so brutal.
That was painful to watch.
He drove like 10 hours to see her or something, and she wouldn't even like look at him. Oh, fucking brutal. And I wouldn't either.
Sucks.
I wouldn't either. Billy Hatcher came to my Houston meetup, and it was hard to look at him too. Ryan Parsons, South Park. Taco Keys. What is that place? Casa Bonita. Love that.
Casa Bonita.
Didn't
good episode.
Matt Stone and Trey Parker, they opened a restaurant called Casa Bonita, didn't they?
There you go.
I'm pretty sure they did. Here is the Twitch mod. Let me know if this is the correct video, because this is the one I keep seeing pop up on my feed right here. Is it this one?
Yeah, I think yes, it is. Oh no, this is a different one than the one I saw. They were on. It's a different one than the one I saw today, but same thing. Could be the same girl. I don't even know.
What, does she just kiss him on the cheeky?
I'm not simping for any of them.
It looks like she's having a good time. Damn. Now I want to see it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't see any kissing on that one.
I love seeing mods get put in their place.
Oh, it's just
my favorite thing.
I feel bad for him, man. Like, but you gotta have some self-respect. You gotta
put my mods in their face all the time. I see my mods all the time, and I call them bitches to their face. We went to where we go. We went to Orlando recently, and we went to Universal, and my mom had like 9 or 10 of my mods were there, and we just fucking roast each other all day. It's hilarious.
There you go.
They're good people, except for Sean. I don't know if he's watching, but that's hilarious. Anyways, Jesus, I'm trying to survive. Sorry, guys. Oh,
Zach said he lives by it. It already existed, but they bought Casa Bonita and renovated it.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. The problem with 2024 is everybody has duty in their hearts, and they're ignorant. Oh, wasn't Michael Jackson mentioned in the Epstein files?
Yes, he was again, but not in like a on the island way. It was something off to the side.
It's got to be tough. Anyone who came in contact with this man now is going to be looked at, even though he came in contact with so many different people for so many different reasons. Yeah. It's not necessarily that they were all visiting his island, but I would be curious to see who was actually going there and staying there.
Yep.
Not that anything will come of it, but it'd be nice.
Nothing will come of it.
No.
I just typed in Amaranth on Twitter search, and it was just like 100% porn down the page. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
She's also got her new chat bot, like her new AI girlfriend out too. So that's probably very relevant right now. Another very, very depressing advancement in our culture.
Dude, that's the crazy thing is I don't really understand, like, from my personal perspective, the appeal of VTubers, but I do get it. If I try to like force my perspective into like Reddit mod perspective, I get how they form weird parasocial relationships with girls they may think are 12 years old. I get it. But I do not understand the AI thing. Yeah. That makes no sense to me.
Like you read her description for it, and it's so dystopian. Like this idea that they're going to like have any type of actual connection with them, but also inherently we are becoming more digitally connected than we are physically connected in the real world. So remember, like at least for me, I'm older. I'm 37. I didn't grow up at a time period where digital connection was the norm. There's a whole generation of kids now that are growing up where that's all they know. Right. Yeah. They don't have the formative years that we had that involved meeting people in the real world and having physical interactions in the real world. So that facsimile of what it means to actually connect to another person doesn't mean the same thing to us as it does to them. So it's scary, though.
It is weird. It's hard to fathom how a child growing up now, or maybe a teenager or a young teenager, sees the world. Because when I was growing up, like 11, 12, I had a bicycle and would ride down like my road and like go to my friend's house. I made friends with like the other kids in the weird trailer park thing. Like it was like a really spread out trailer park thing. It wasn't like close, like Trailer Park Boys. It was like real spread out. The trailers had like 2 acres each.
Did you have somebody selling you a trailer like that guy in that commercial earlier?
Yeah, is that where you got your house from, Cody?
It did come in 2 pieces. But
did it have stains?
No. But yeah, so I would ride my bike and we would just go to each other's house and just like climb trees and shit and like maybe play Sega Genesis a little and go outside and play. And now that's like definitely not a thing anymore.
Nope.
Like for the majority of children.
Nope.
They just sit on a tablet and like watch streamers that are super adult oriented, but they're like super popular. Like I saw a post on Twitter and it was like, which streamer are you going to watch this year? And it was quite literally all like the 9 like streamers, like I Show Speed and that other guy. And their entire demographic is just children.
KSI and a lot of these other. Yeah. Yep.
It depends on the parents too, though. Like some parents try, push their kids into sports and doing. It's funny, actually. A friend was just talking about his daughter and how she like goes to cheer practice or something like that. And I guess she'll like talk to the girls, but she doesn't really hang out with the girls outside of cheer practice or gymnastics, where the fuck it is, some kid thing. And she won't really talk to them. And I guess they're having a dance and she doesn't want to go. And he was like, no, you're going because you're not going to be one of those weird fucking kids that doesn't know how to interact with other people socially in the real world. So he's like forcing his daughter to go to this dance and make friends while she's young. Cause I don't know how old she is, maybe 12 or something like that. And I think some parents, at least hopefully some parents are And I'm not against kids playing video games or spending time online, as long as you are monitoring whatever it is that they're watching. But there has to be some kind of a balance there while they're still playing sports. And because, childhood obesity is also getting up there for the same reason. Kids are just sitting around.
Getting your kids into sports is one of the best things you can do. Like, you can't make them do it, but like, I played baseball and hockey. It's what you do in Minnesota. You play hockey, and I don't regret that at all. Like, that was, it's very good for discipline. It's very good for help with, like you said, obesity, and the fact that kids, I saw a meme the other day. It was like, it basically said like the difference between like then and now is like back in the day, it was your parent dragging a kid in the house when it was getting dark out. And the other one was a parent like dragging their kid out of the house, trying to get them to go outside and play. And the kid's like just clutching a tablet.
Yeah.
It's not good, man.
Dude, it was so different. I remember growing up, and I would go to a friend's house, and we'd play Sega Genesis and maybe N64, and we would just like watch movies and do whatever, and then play outside. Of course, when it got dark, we'd go inside and play. And I remember being at my friend's house for like 4 or 5 days, and my parents never called once. And I think they called on like the 4th day. And it's like, is Cody over there? And they're like, yeah. Now, to be fair, I don't know. They probably called my friend's mom like every day or a couple times a day, just making sure. But I don't know. I only heard that they did it once. And it was just so like different and freeing. They completely trusted. Now, and granted, they grew up in the 80s, right? So, my parents graduated both in 1985 from high school. So they're growing up in the late 70s and early 80s. And I grew up in the 90s. And I was already an adult by the mid 2000s. So, yeah, it's very weird. It's very different now. And everybody's terrified. Their children.
We lived in a higher trust society back then.
Yeah, I definitely had a lot more freedom. Like, there was no one checking in and texting every 5 seconds, making sure you had a chaperone.
Even when I was in high school, I didn't have a curfew of any sort. I was allowed to come and go as long as my grades didn't slip too far down. I was given a whole lot of freedom because I never gave my parents anything to worry about. But these days, with helicopter parents and the way things are, it's no wonder. And phones are making kids really depressed, like really, really depressed. I still believe that that's the number one reason that Gen Z is as upset as it is I think your phone, it's tethering you to just fear porn and bad news all day long. And it's not good.
Yeah. And it radicalizes children. And this goes all the way back. We've come full circle since the beginning of the stream now.
To destabilize the fucking West, man.
The West.
You're destabilizing our whole country, and it's goddamn working. And we're all falling for it, and everybody's fighting each other. It's fucking ridiculous.
And all they do to silence the adults is show me fat asses, and I love it, and I can't stop that.
I'm not falling for shit, but yes, they do silence us. But yeah.
They just don't care about us. Chris McGough does, though. Chris McGough in the chat with a pink boy, 500 Norwegian Krogans. My boy. Thank you.
Let's get it. Let's get to that number, guys.
Says watching that clip 30 years after Dazed and Confused was kind of poetic. He was O'Banion all along. Thank you, Kristen McGough. I love you for your pink boy. That puts us almost an even 200 from Naked Snake. Winding down here, we got maximum 15 minutes left before I freaking start blacking out and throwing up. If you guys didn't know, if you're joining just now, I'm inconsolably sick. I was actually thinking Thursday night was the worst. I couldn't sleep, and I was like sweating, and I sat in bed till like 8 a.m. just staring at the wall. And I was like, man, but at least I'll feel better for Saturday's show. No, I don't. It's like kind of worse because my throat's so destroyed that every time I cough, it hurts so bad.
Do you have strep throat?
Maybe.
Does it ever happen? Like we were actually talking about this the other day. Like have you ever like eaten something when you got sick and then like you can't eat that ever again afterwards because you associate it with being sick? Yep. Like now what's going to happen is you're never going to have me back on the show because you're going to be like, oh my God, I felt so awful that day. He's going to see you're going to see my face and you're like, oh my God, fuck that guy.
It's cotton candy did that to me. I can't even get close to cotton candy.
Cotton candy? What were you sick with?
Yes, cotton candy. I don't know.
Cotton candy, Cody. There are 2 T's there.
No.
Cotton candy. Sorry.
I got like
damn it, Brett.
I ate a nasty ton of it and then like threw up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And now I can't eat it anymore.
I did that with grapefruit juice. Surprisingly, grapefruit juice tastes very similar coming out as it does going in, but I still
buy that.
Grape juice. Yeah, it tastes exactly the same. It's so acidic. But I can't drink it anymore for that reason. I just remember being sick in the back of the car. My dad's driving around and I'm lying on the back seat of his truck, I think, actually, and throwing up grapefruit juice into a towel because that's all we had. So I'm just like puking onto a towel. I have not had it since.
That sounds awful.
Hot
it's
dogs.
horrible.
Hot
Horrible.
dogs taste.
Hot dogs?
Hot dogs taste the same coming out, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. Did you get hot dogs ruined for you? That sucks.
No, I love hot dogs. No,
okay, good.
you can tell if you just eat like 2 fat ass hot dogs and then like burp like the next 3 hours. It's just really hot doggy and delicious. Something about hot dogs. Fucking love hot dogs. God,
I do love hot dogs. Yeah.
they're just like discombobulated, like mixed up random meat parts into like a little sock.
Then people they're like, haven't you ever seen how those things are made? They're disgusting. I'm like, yeah, they still taste good, guys. Sorry, I'm not stopping eating them.
Dude, I'll never. Oh God, it's like somebody sent me a video like on Facebook, like in 2011, of somebody using the pressurized pin puncher on a cow's forehead, like the
captive bolt gun or whatever.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah. So like, you see that? Like, how can you like possibly eat steak? And I'm like, because it's delicious.
It tastes good.
I watched the damn video of them beating the shit out of the baby cows at Fairlife. They're like kicking them, the Fairlife Milk Company, and I still fucking get Fairlife because it's delicious and it has good macros. Yeah. Eat some more cows. Fuck them. I don't care. I love them. Like I would kiss a cow on the forehead. And
they're
like
very
hug
cute.
them. They're delightful to look at, and I would pet them. I'd have a cow pet in my backyard, and I'd be like, "Hey, what's up, cow?" I'd kiss them. But like, I don't know that cow. I don't know that other cow where. I don't know random cow in Arizona.
It's like you see those people that would put the stickers on like the meat at the grocery store. It says this cow's name was this. This is who you're eating. It's like, yes, and it's delicious. Thank you.
Yeah, you're just like cutting into it. You're like, thank you, Dan.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
Daisy, you taste delicious. Thank you so much.
Daisy. Oh, rest in peace, Daisy. Matt Amos, Zia, he hasn't gotten any better about important words with multiple syllables.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten any better, but I don't say better though. I say better, but I do say gotten and important.
I think it's a speech impediment.
You think it's a speech impediment? How is that? I'm pronouncing things correctly.
No,
because those letters are there. Forgotten.
No, that's a speech impediment.
For our show, it's the word figure because I say figure and not figure.
Oh,
they don't like that. A lot of it. They
yeah.
They're always trying to dissect my Minnesota accent, which I don't actually have.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would never think you were from Minnesota.
No,
do you say caramel or caramel or caramel?
It would literally be regarding the context. The worst is milk, which I do sometimes say. It's milk, but I will sometimes say milk, which is slip of the tongue. But I try, and I don't say pop. I call it soda.
Thank God.
I say
that one for some reason.
Yeah.
I say Coke. I say, well, I don't just say Coke for everything. I call it whatever the brand is. I'll call it like a Coke or a Pepsi or a Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Okay, but I heard that there are places where they're like, "Can I get a Coke?" And then they ask you what kind of Coke, and you have to specify, "I want a Sprite," which makes absolutely no sense.
I don't think they do that in the South.
Where do they do that?
That's like an old wives' tale or something. Because I've heard that too.
Oh, okay. Has that just been spreading around since like pre-internet days, and we all believed it forever?
It's like Marilyn Manson's rib, right? It predates the internet.
Yeah, dude.
It's like somehow everyone heard that, and nobody knows where they heard it from. That's who really lost out on the internet. Old wives.
All our young boy minds was like, well, if I can't get a girlfriend ever in my life, at least I have that option.
I'm going the Marilyn Manson route.
Yeah.
Remove that rib. And then there was the one with Richard Gere and the gerbil.
Yes. There's so many of them. Like again, the internet before the internet existed. Even what we were talking about earlier about the phone booth and the razor blade in the phone booth thing.
Yeah.
That's pre-internet.
The only thing I remember about that is like they were like you could tie a string to the coin and put it in and then just pull it back out after you make your phone call. I remember that. I don't remember the needle thing though. I don't remember that being anything.
They were always like, don't put your finger in the coin return because somebody's going to put an AIDS-infested needle in the coin return.
Why?
I have no idea because they wanted to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find like an article that talks about old wives' tales, and they're all lame as fuck. They're
one
like
that I
about
remember.
getting pregnant. Every one of them is about getting pregnant.
Of course it is. I remember there was one that I like took with me. I don't even think I've ever fact checked this, but I just believe this is truth. I've taken this with me since I was a child. That the term "Saved by the Bell" came from. There were these. I guess people used to drink these cups. I think back in the 1800s, they would drink out of these cups that I guess mixed with alcohol, whatever was in them, would put them into a deep fucking, like almost kind of like a coma-like sleep. So they'd be passed out and people would think they were dead. So they'd bury them. And then they were realizing, I guess maybe they were grave robbers, that there were all these scratches inside the coffin. So they were alive. They were getting buried alive. Yeah, they hadn't actually died. So what they were doing was they would have someone that sits in the graveyard and they would tie a string to the corpse's hands, and it would lead from up out of the grave to a bell. And if they heard the bell dinging, they would dig them up.
Yeah.
So hence Saved by the Bell. I have no idea if that's true, but I want to believe it because it's so cool.
Yeah, they're called safety coffins, and they were used in Romania. It is a real thing, but it was only in practice for a very short period of time.
Okay,
This is why the internet sucks, though, because you should just be allowed to believe something and just carry it in your house, carry it in your heart as true. I don't want somebody to come and be like, actually, this is what happened. I'm like, just shut up.
Yeah,
I just want to believe it.
Stop fucking ruining this for me.
You're a freaking dweeb. Shut up.
Yeah, I love it. That is one of the coolest. That's one of the coolest old wives' tales. That's real because they do it in the movie The Nun. They do a really cool. There's a really cool scene based around safety coffins. The whole movie is pretty shitty, but like
fucking horrible.
That one scene where the girl, or I think it's a girl, it's either a girl or a guy, and they're in a graveyard, and then all of a sudden, all the fucking bells in the entire graveyard just freaking jingling like as fast as possible. It's very unnerving. Loved it. Love that shit. All the bodies are just jangling everywhere. God, they're great. We got about 7 minutes.
Guys, come on.
Bill Dozer, let's get Naked Snake over on Rumble. Thank you, dude. With a purple boy. Putting us 180 away. Tell people, is your main channel Pop Culture Crisis, or do you have
so like for the most, like that's pretty much all that I'm doing right now. I've been doing a lot of I've been trying to get out on other channels to push the word on the show. We're about to hit 90. We hit past 94,000 subscribers today or something like that. So we're working our way to 100K, but that's most of what I'm doing these days is just getting the word out on other people's channels so they can go and check it out. We're live 5 days a week at 3 p.m. every single day, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, I mean, I try to
watch
the
chat.
I try to watch every single show. It's about the time I'm about to leave for the gym, so it gives me like an hour and a half to watch.
That's a bit of a down side. We're in the middle of the day, right? So it's like something you have to be able to either find the time for, or if you're at work, you got to listen to it with your headphones in.
Yeah. It's a good show. Yeah, and it ran. I don't know why I think I was subscribed, and it just didn't get recommended to me until recently again, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, we've battled the algorithm quite a bit in a lot of that. I don't know if that's because I know that a lot of people have different theories about where they put their live stream channels, how often they release content, but we put out so much because we cut up the show every day into segments. We're also doing other things with extra content that comes out on the weekend. So you're getting an average of like three to four videos a day on top of the live stream at 3 p.m. So a lot of the times it seems like it gets caught up and then we'll fall back down in the algorithm. It'll be hard for it to catch traction. Like a lot of YouTube channels, I think what you notice is that their majority of their audience comes from people that are unsubscribed.
Yep.
Right. For us, ours is it was always mostly from people that were already subscribed. And just now recently, we've made progress in that. It's about 50-50. So about half our views come from people who watch or who are subscribed, and the other half come from people who are just now discovering it. So.
Yeah. That's the weird thing, man, is it'll be going normal, and it's almost, and it's probably not like manually done. It's probably just falling into a hole for a second.
Yeah.
But my videos will be getting 40 to 70,000 views per video. Streams are getting like 1,000 concurrent for like months at a time.
Yeah.
And then in a 4-day period, for like a random 4-day period, my videos, they'll have the exact same click-through rate, by the way. Yeah. It'll have like a 9 to 12 click-through rate every time. And they'll just get like 10,000 views after like a day and a half instead of like 50, and I'm like, why did this happen? And then a stream will go from like a 1,000 concurrent to like 200. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then it'll flip. It'll be like a 4 or 5 day period. And then it completely reverses again. And I'm like, what happened? Like, it's really strange.
We get a little bit of a like a little bit of a gap in the concurrence. Like we sit, usually we break 1,000 most streams. Some of them will go like 9 to 950, like in the middle of the week or something like that. But you never know really what causes that at any rate. And also like there's like we started adding more YouTube shorts. That was basically what I noticed, was like we were gaining subscribers the most. Like in a month, we were releasing like 93 videos, 93 segments, and then 22 or however many live streams. And for every live stream, we'd put out one like YouTube short, and we'd get as many subscribers from the one YouTube short as we would from 93 videos or the same amount of live streams. So we just doubled up and started it making, because you get a lot of good short form content out of there.
Yeah.
But as you know, as a creator, like people who are into short form content aren't necessarily going to be the same people who are going to want to stick around for a live stream, because live streams in a lot of ways are their own ecosystem now.
Yeah. I tried short form for a long time, and I could just never really get anything to happen. Mine seems to work where it'll be, I'll put out 10 videos, and then one of them will get me like 1,000 subs.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what always happens. It'll be 500 to 1,000 subs. Every like 6 to 7 videos, one will just really pull completely unsubscribed people like that have completely untapped out of nowhere, and it pulls them in.
Yeah.
From just one video. And that tends to be the case. Or a stream. I've had streams do that before too, where I'm just live and there's like 1,200 concurrent. I'm like, oh, it's weird. I don't know why there's 1,200 in here. It's not really any different than any other show. And it's just my little chat bot that keeps saying people are subscribing over and over. And I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I try to not like the best advice I got early on was like, don't get too invested in the ups and the downs, because there's always going to be downs, right? Like, so it's great when things are going really, really well, when there's a lot of growth. But then if it starts dropping for a while, it can be a bit depressing.
Oh God.
So you got to learn to separate that, and not let it get to you.
You have to, because
which is tough.
Oh my God, it's so bad. It's I'll be feeling great. And every video is doing decent. Every stream's doing great. I mean, like we haven't missed Naked Snake in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And
guys, don't make this be that. Come on.
It's all Brett's fault, Johan. All Brett's fault. No. So you'll be looking at all these things, and then I put a video out like yesterday or the day before, I can't remember, and it was just bombed on arrival. And the weirdest thing is, it's like one of my most popular style of videos that I always do. And out of nowhere, it's just like 10 out of 10 worst performance like video in a year. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it's just been really strange. And then like every show was like slower after that. I'm like, what did somebody click a damn button? These sons of bitches.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to figure it out, because if you cover, like, we don't just cover movies and television. We cover a lot of stuff with general pop culture. Mary is really good about finding a lot of stuff on Twitter to do with just like, just actual celebrity stuff going back and forth. And I wouldn't be able to tell you if any one subject matter does consistently always better than the other. Like, we could do a Star Wars video that does really good one day and then just really crappy the next. We'll cover Kanye West, and one of them will do really, really well. The next one won't do any numbers whatsoever. I don't actually have any concrete data that tells me that this topic will always do well. When Rachel Zegler was at her worst, pretty much all of those did well, but even that isn't the same thing, right? And I don't want to chase. I'm not interested in chasing topics just because they're doing well, because that doesn't interest me. I don't want to sit here and talk about something just because I think people are going to watch it specifically.
Yeah.
I have to actually care about what we're talking about, at least a little bit.
Yeah, that's like me. And I put out a video about Gerard the Completionist, and I wasn't even really like, I was following it all the time.
Yeah.
I was really interested in it, but so many people made videos about it. I was like, I don't need to make a video about it, but I'll have fun watching it play out. And then Mudahar released the entire conference call about his charity fraud thing.
Yeah.
And I just reacted to the entire thing with my buddy Nick Ricada, and he's a lawyer, so he can give a good analysis of everything going on. And I was like, fuck. My editor just sent it to me, like clipped, the entire like portion clipped. It's like an hour long, and I uploaded it on a whim, and it was easily my largest video in like the last like 6 months.
Weird how that happens, right? It's never the ones you think are going to do really, really well, right? You're like, oh, this one's going to be really good. This is like a really hot topic right now. Like for us, a lot of it is like if we cover social media trends, like anything covering Gen Z and things going on TikTok, those videos tend to do really, really well, right?
Yeah.
We covered this topic of Gen Z talking about the concept of shifting, that they can shift realities. And I say almost nothing in the whole video. It's my co-host talking about it and me just looking up at like, why is the world so insane? And I just look really like forlorn at where humanity is going. And we weren't even going to release it as a segment. We're just like, well, whatever. We put it out. And that one did really, really well because people want to look at it and be like, oh, look at Gen Z. They're so crazy, right?
Yeah.
But you never know.
I totally almost forgot to pose the hypothetical situation to everybody.
Oh yeah, your philosophical thing. You were all excited about it.
Yes, I'm so glad I remembered. So, real quick, I was having a conversation with somebody recently. Well, Ask Girl, obviously. If it's with somebody, it's probably Ask Girl. And she held the opinion that I feel like she would have. So basically, and it's the reason I hold a different opinion is because I'm trying to fathom everything a little bit differently. But if there was 5 people left in the world, 3 of them female, 2 male, which isn't really relevant how many there are, but 3 women, 2 males, but the 3 women do not want to procreate. Do you think it's justifiable for them to be forced to do so?
No. The human race is fucking trash. Let it die out.
Yeah, I knew it. So you would, if you could play God and force it to happen to save the human race, you would not do so because the human race sucks.
Nope. Yep. 100%. That being said, I think if I was one of those 3 women though in that position, I'd probably procreate though to keep
probably,
it going.
But
yeah, I think I would, and I don't even want kids.
In the hypothetical, obviously you wouldn't. So like
it's a little bit of a flawed question because I feel like I mean, I understand what you're saying, right? Is that like you can't change the variables because that's the point of the philosophical nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's what is it? What is the one they always bring up? The train track problem all the time.
Right.
These discussions.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. I'm the milk toast fence sitter on our podcast. I'd say I don't know if I'm nihilistic enough to say that I want that the world needs to die out. I tend to be more optimistic in that. My hope would be that somebody could convince one of these ladies. Somebody hopefully has a copy of The Notebook or some romantic movie that he can then get this lady to believe in love again so that she'll do it.
I don't think you need to believe in love again. I think you just, like I said, I don't want kids, but if I had to repopulate the earth, I'd fucking have one, you know?
Do you come to that conclusion, Zia, to protect the women in this specific situation? Or just
rape's pretty gnarly. I mean, grape shit. It's pretty gnarly. It's like murder. It's hard to justify it. That's a really tough thing to justify. And as someone who because women are put in that position probably more than people think. It's pretty horrific. So when you think about it, that's a tough thing.
Right. So
actually, societally, I think now rape is one of those things. Sorry, grape. Again,
I
know. I apologize. This is one of those discussion points where there is forgiveness for murderers. There is no like societally. There is a long history of murderers being forgiven for their actions, whereas that is not something we see as acceptable ever for people who commit sex crimes.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I agree. The issue I have with it is, so a lot of it's kind of based in like this morality that the women would have to go through something nightmarish to get to the end result. And my argument to this other side of it, and it might be a bad take because a lot of people have held this opinion, the opposing opinion. But I feel like morals are irrelevant if there is no society to have morals based around. So if there's no one left, letting everyone die from a moral choice is kind of it's kind of like a null point. It like cancels each other out. So you know what I'm saying? Like if there's not a society structure to have morals, what is the point of using a moral to destroy society, right? Or people? the entire race. And if it's for the individual, like the woman in the situation, the hypothetical, does the people that would flourish 100,000 years from that moment and that one bad decision or one tough decision, do their individualistic wants, needs, and dreams not matter?
Yeah, it's really interesting because you're getting into like the libertarianism, the libertarian argument for a lot of these things would be right. Like there is no greater right, there is no greater cause than the right of the individual in something like this for a lot of people, and it certainly violates the non-aggression principle and all of these things. So of course the example is meant to be extreme, because it's the same thing that people put themselves into the question of when we talk about government and the amount of atrocities that governments commit in the name of the greater good, right? Like at what point does an awful act cancel itself out by the good it does other people? Well, who gives those people the right to make those decisions, especially when we barely these days even really can call our politicians accountable for their actions?
Yeah.
And also, who are we to say that the human race needs to go on? Like, who are we to say that it's so important that that's just biology? The dinosaurs all died out. It could happen to us too.
Why every woman I talk to about this says that exact same thing. Why do you guys hate the world? Why do you hate all individuals, Zia?
Look, I don't hate all individuals, and I actually tend to be more of a sunny optimist, which I know sounds like I'm not being right now. But I've had this conversation with like Johan on my channel and some other people on my channel too about, people give up on love, and everybody's been burned. I've been burned, but I never gave up on that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I tend to want to be optimistic and want to see the good in people. And I tend to also give people more chances than they should get because I see the good in them and I ignore a lot of the bad. So I am one of those people. That being said, it's hard to ignore how absolutely fucked people are to each other a lot of the time. It's really, really disheartening. I see shit online sometimes and I'm just like, fuck, dude, this sucks.
People are
you might need to go to a couple of those women and start to use some reverse psychology on them. Be like, you're starting to act like your mother, and see if you can turn the tables on them to see if you can get them to buy into it. Like, look, you're starting to act like your mom. You're acting a little bit crazy. You're gonna have to gaslight them a little bit. If it's is a little bit of gaslighting so wrong for the good of the human race?
Yeah, I would
good
say
of the human race.
Hey, that's all I'm saying. That's all.
Look, you know what? If you can reverse psychology them into that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
You're just gonna have to do it. You're gonna be like, oh, I didn't want to. Like, you're gonna have to make it seem like it was their idea rather than yours.
Yep. Yeah, I hold the opposite opinion. I think they should be forced to do so. And the reason I think that is, if I could play God, I mean, you could like just make a thing happen. Because the entire defense of the argument is the individualistic, like, hopes and dreams and what is the comfort, quality of life of these three individuals supersedes that of all individuals.
But all those individuals don't exist yet. That's the thing. You're talking about people that don't exist. You're talking about people that might not make it. They could die.
Yes, but
like this is a hypothetical.
This could turn into an abortion discussion.
Exactly.
Really
Yeah.
Holy
really
shit.
Does, yeah.
That's true.
No, the issue is the reason those people don't exist yet is because we can only perceive time in a line. They do exist. And they exist. Like if there's a fifth dimensional being, or we are able at some point in time to fathom time not in a line, they would exist. So does that make it?
Well, that's only if we figure out if that's true or not. We don't know that.
But they
would exist. They would exist, but we can, but they might not. That's my point. The reason that people had so many kids back in the day is because they're always fucking dying. Yeah. Like if you're in that scenario, chances of survival are a lot lower.
Procreating in multiples was a big part of it back then because
you
lost a lot of kids young, and also it put unique family, pressures on the family when you had less children.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of Thomas Jefferson's children died. All of them. Every damn one of them. Speaking of Thomas Jefferson, Oh my gosh, I feel
That was quite a segue. What the hell about Thomas Jefferson?
sorry. All right. Chris McGough just dropped 2,000 Norwegian
Wow.
Krogans. My boy, my son, my boy. You know what that's from. You know what it's from. Right? You know what it's from, right, Zia?
Is that from Harry Potter?
Yes.
Okay, thank God. That was when Cedric Diggory died, because that's where I
Yes.
went. All right, I'm just making sure.
You're a white. Well, no, you're not. Fuck.
Robert Pattinson's.
Yeah.
He did.
Yep.
My boy.
I always loved how like I always loved like what a dick that guy's his dad was to Harry the whole in the books and in the movie.
books in
Yeah.
particular.
Such a bad person in the books.
Hated Harry.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I want my son to be famous.
Yeah, Cedric, look how beautiful and sexy he is. Look at him.
Yes.
It's like,
He's
wait, hold on,
sparkly.
Dad.
He's
What?
so sparkly.
Chris McGough, thank you. He said this show got me through my dog not being here when I woke up. Oh, that what? Why do we what? I'm sorry to hear that, Chris McGough. I'd die.
No.
My two boys. I like to think that I don't like them sometimes, but like I always like my German Shepherd will just be laying in the floor like a stupid dog. You know how he's on his side, and he's huge, right? And he'll be like having a bad dream, and when he has a bad dream, he sounds so stupid. He'll be like kicking his legs, and he'll be making this little ooh 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 noise, and he's huge, right? So it's like making this cute little noise, and I'll just like big spoon him and just hold him.
Oh.
He's a big monster. Yeah. Also, if anybody broke into my house, he would tear him into pieces. He's crazy. He's not mean at all. Like if you like walked into my house, he'd be like, oh, and you could pet him. He'd be super happy. But if somebody broke into my house in the darkness, he can tell when something's fucked up. You know. So Chris McGough. So is my husky. He's the same way. I jumped my fence at my old house because I got locked out, and my ex-wife had locked me out. I don't remember how it happened. She wasn't mad. It was just I went outside to do something and she locked the door and I didn't have a key or something. Or maybe I came home late. I don't remember. So I jumped the fence and my husky was in the backyard and he was so pissed off because it was like pitch black. He was growling and I've never heard him growl before. And it was terrifying. But then I said, Mal, please. And he just like started wagging his tail. And I'm like, thank God.
Oh, he got excited to see
Thank you, Chris McGough. I appreciate you so
sorry,
much, Chris McGough.
He got us to Naked Snick and Naked
He did
Zia.
it. He damn did it. I can't believe it. I can't believe he did it.
Christoph.
My boy, my son. And also Mud, by the way.
And then you got, another pink boy.
Mud. You're close to Naked Snake. More close than you think. Check the other side, Bonehead. Oh, no, I was counting that already, Mudbug. I was counting the red boy on Rumble. I just haven't mentioned it because I have to pull up another window to do it. And I'm very slow. My brain's real slow today. And I'm just like.
Poor Cody's sick as heck.
But it is there. It's a red boy from Mudbug on Rumble. It says, howdy, folks. Stop being a puss, Cody. Take a shot and I'll be fine. Thank you, Mudbug. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I decided because there's like a winter storm out that I'm going to pretend like it's not fucking 30 something degrees outside. And I'm going to wear a goddamn sundress in my toasty ass house.
Dude, it's so cold.
It was snowing out here today, like in I've been out here for a couple of years now and got like no snow at all last year and almost none the year before. This is the first year I've seen any amount of substantial snow. And when you're from Minnesota, that's a good thing because I was like, I want to get the hell away from it. I don't want to be around snow 24/7.
Yeah. It's real cold here, but it's not anything crazy. It's like 30 and it's kind of rainy, but my house is freezing because my ceiling is in every room. I don't know how high this room is, but every room is like 12 feet-ish. And then my foyer, is that what it's called? Foyer is like 50 feet. So it's like less insulation, more room. So it's always freezing in my entire downstairs. My bottom floor and my second floor are all hardwood floors and they're all freezing. And then my upstairs is carpet. My third floor. And my house is just always freezing. It's just terrible. Thank you, Mudbug. Love you, dude. Mudbug is the man. A pink and a red boy. Kristen McGough also dropped a pink and a red boy. Thank you so much, Kristen McGough. And Johan said it's not necessarily that I don't believe in human love. It's that I don't believe that it exists.
Johan.
For me. Disregard my lack of belief. Damn.
Don't make me sad over here. I think love exists for everybody. I think it's just hard to find.
Johan's over here like with his freaking whiskey in his left hand. He's He's got his face against the mantle of his fireplace as he stares into it. I don't necessarily that there's no such thing as human love. Just not for me. God damn, Johan. Jesus, you're bringing me down.
Everyone's got that one friend who will just drop that in the middle of a conversation, and everyone's like, what?
No one loves me. Yeah, there's always that one friend.
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, it's because you. And I'm not saying you, Johan, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a specific person in my life that they're like, no one loves me. I can't get a girlfriend or whatever. And all my friends have girlfriends, and everybody's in a relationship or married. And I'm like, yeah, it's because your standards are crazy. Like one of my friends, until just recently, he was single for like 10 years. We are 34, by the way. And he couldn't get a girlfriend, and his standards were crazy. She had to have like less than 2 people she had sex with. Keep in mind, we're in our 30s. And she also had to be like really hot and like have a degree and all kinds of crazy shit. And I'm like, bro, you are not that special.
He's the he's the male version of the girls who are like, he needs to be 6 feet, make 6 figures. What's 6-inch dick?
6 inches. Yep.
6 inches. The 666 girls. And I'm just like, dude, you look like a goblin. You're being so ridiculous right now.
Have you ever seen the videos of like the women who like put the ruler next to the door and it says like getting the heights of hinge dates, and then the dude just drops a scale in front of the door?
Yeah, like it's so ridiculous. Yeah. And look, I'm not against people being able to have preferences. I think that's fine. But it's these ridiculously high standards that are like, you could be missing out on so many people because you care so much about an arbitrary height of 6 feet tall. I just think it's so silly. I think it's also ridiculous.
They've shown time and again that like they've asked women, they're like, do you know how tall 6 feet is? And they wouldn't be able to tell. Like they have no concept of what 6 feet tall actually is.
Exactly. And like 6 feet, I'm 5'2". You're taller than me. Great.
Trying to see if I missed any of these bitches before we do Naked Snake. Noah says Cavill for nerd director. Have you seen Coneheads?
I haven't seen Coneheads since forever.
Yeah.
Saw Sound of Freedom. Fire PA says great film. I need to watch it. I still haven't watched it. I just I don't know. It was being used like kind of like politically, or not really maybe politically, but it was kind of being used as like, this is a movie that's not for like woke people. And I'm like, I don't like when stuff's advertised like that. I feel like it's gonna be like,
it's obnoxious.
Yeah. And that tends to be like, as a label, like that's like that type of label is just as bad as calling something actually woke, right? Like you have to make something that has wide appeal, and those words shouldn't come into it. It really is just becoming a term that's synonymous with bad. Like most of the movies that I didn't like this year, I wouldn't have necessarily labeled it that. It just was a bad movie. Like there's a couple of them. Indiana Jones had some bad elements into it with the Phoebe Waller-Bridge character that fit that label. But most of the time it's just a bad movie. It's not that I would inherently call it woke or anti-woke. I just don't like those words. Like whenever we use that word in the show, I make sure to do this because I'm just sick of saying it.
Yeah. And also it's been overused and people use it forever. You'll see people using it if there happens to be a person of color and you're like, all right, there's just a black guy in this. It's not really woke. He's just a black guy in the movie, but it's
that happens way too often where it's like, this is woke because there's just a black character. I'm like, all right, now, like that's not what being woke is. Being woke is forcing a character into a movie and using that entire character's personality as like literally their identity, whether it be race or sexuality. And I'm
exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Have you ever seen the it's the last good thing Saturday Night Live ever did. Have you ever seen the skit Levi Wokes?
No.
It's a masterpiece in giving you the shorthand of what it was. And it was before, like they would never make this on Saturday Night Live now. And it's a Gene commercial, except for their Levi Wokes. And you should watch it. If anybody in the chat, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It's really, really good.
I see Ryan Gosling in there.
Yes, if you can watch it. It's freaking good.
Reese said today as the only day I can send money to Cody. Brett, your Ballers appearance has been fun. Obligatory nice thing about Zia. I don't remember if I read this one, but
Reese, I'm going back to calling you Reese with a C.
They and I have to plead Mandy's case. You got to have Mandy on here. I know she canceled last time from Mandy over at Ballers, right? Mandy
Summers?
Yeah.
Yes. She canceled 2 Saturdays. Yeah, I don't remember.
she goes, because I mentioned I was on there last night with them, and she's like, oh man, like I think he's mad at me. And I was like, I will plead the case over there when I'm over there.
No, I asked her to reschedule, and I don't think she's responded yet. So I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, so it's her.
I'm totally down. Yeah, I don't mind. It happens. I don't like it when people just don't say anything. Like this. What I don't like is when the show is like quite literally starting and then they cancel. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck?
That's just unprofessional.
Now,
right?
but if it's like 3 hours, 4 hours, dude, I don't give a fuck. As long as you tell me, I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all.
But I love doing the show with her, Shane, and Dale. It's a lot of fun over there.
Yeety Spaghetti says gaslighting. Now Brett's just making up words.
That's right. No, dude, you're crazy. What are you talking about? You're absolutely insane. You're acting a little bit weird. I think is there something wrong? Come on.
God. That's like when it's fuck. When you like you have a roommate or something and you do the dishes like 4 nights a week or something and do it for like a year or 2 nights a week or 3 nights a week. And then the other person's like, you've never done the dishes once. And you're like, listen, motherfucker, I ain't gonna
You're like, I got brains. I know.
Yeah, that's when I'm like, the gaslight starts popping in my head, the word. I'm like, maybe this word is real.
Yep.
Because these bitches, they always trying to.
Yeah, gaslighting is another word that's real, but it's been overused and used
that's
for
true.
fucking it's a real thing, and manipulators do it, but it's now gotten to a point where they've used it for every fucking thing. It's lost all meaning.
It's like narcissist. Everyone's a narcissist. If you've ever been broken up with and they didn't treat you 110% perfectly, you're being manipulated by an evil narcissist. And I'm like, and as soon as somebody uses that word, I'm like, okay.
I don't, dude. I hate it. I hate it so
it's
much.
Obnoxious.
Nope.
Another one I hate. By the way, Bill Dozer on Rumble. Thank you again, my man. Another one I hate is when women, and it's a woman thing, obviously, because it makes them look better. Makes them look less to blame, and women don't like to be blamed for anything. It's an accountability thing. When women say that their ex-boyfriend was abusive, and then when you actually get into the conversation about it, they maybe like encourage them to go to the gym like a couple times, and that's what they're considering the abuse. And they don't
emotionally
actually
abusive.
They don't actually. Yeah, they won't say that though. They won't say, oh, it's a little emotionally abusive. They'll actually just use the word abusive. And
I was gonna say, there's also a huge difference between emotionally abusive, like someone constantly putting you down, calling you names, telling you you're fat, ugly, disgusting. That is emotionally abusive. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's a completely different thing than someone getting mad at you sometimes. Like you have to recognize that being in a relationship, you're gonna have arguments, you're gonna have disagreements. Sometimes you'll say things that you regret a little bit. It's good if you can get to a point where you can control yourself that you don't do that. However, it's probably going to happen from time to time. There's a huge difference between that and having someone who literally is constantly putting you down. That is abusive.
Every single girl I've ever talked to in my life said that their ex or multiple exes were abusive, but they don't say what it is. And when we hear that, everybody assumes physically abusive, which is terrible.
Of course.
Right? But it will just be because sometimes he would like do a small thing you didn't like, and you would just say abusive because it makes you look like a victim and not the reason why the relationship ended. It's a thing women do that I can't stand.
Alternately, the thing that men do, which to me is a huge red flag. If a man ever says this, I'm like, oh shit, this isn't good. If he calls every single one of his exes crazy.
Yeah. That means he's going through phones and shit.
That means that he's and look, I'm not saying you can't have crazy exes, you can, but if it's every single one of them, what's the fucking common denominator here? It's you, buddy.
Even if they were all crazy, that actually says more about him in his selection process than it does anything else.
That too.
Also, the same thing happens. Like if you read a lot of news and you read a lot of media, especially when they relate to like Me Too cases, it's like when somebody gets accused of like hitting on a woman at work and then they call it sexual misconduct.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, he hit on me at work, therefore it's sexual misconduct. Or the other one that you see now is like when you see the cases of abuse from teachers, when it's men, it's rape. When it's female teachers with boys, it's labeled sexual misconduct, which is very different because it's still statutory rape.
Yeah.
So language matters.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just I think that when it comes to that, it's because men are genuinely bigger, stronger, more more they have the monopoly on force, so it just looks worse when it's like a small girl that's even younger, and when it's a woman, it's like, well, they were just in love.
Yeah,
like Marie Letourneau, whatever the hell her name was.
I've seen a lot of people like Phil, who's on our show, is he's like, when like even when that happens to boys, like in high school, they're not physically in danger the way that a female student would be with a male teacher. So
correct. So it's kind of justified in a way, but I still think women that do that should be just freaking put under the damn jail.
I agree.
I'm so surprised. Like, we've had so many cases, like stories recently about these teachers who start OnlyFans pages. And then I just can't believe the amount of people who are like, well, if they paid the teachers more. And I'm like, bro, these are the people teaching your kids.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, first of all, like, whatever happened to waitressing? Like, I don't care if they want to go do that for a living, but you also don't get the right to just expect the school to be okay with it. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Phil's a smart guy. I had him on my show recently, or I guess been about 4 months now, but we had a lot of good conversations. We also share the same love for girls that are built like freaking brick shit houses. Love it. I love girls that are
like some buff.
I like girls that are on a little bit of Anavar, just a little bit. That's my favorite, dude. God. Captain Redbeard says, if your ex broke up with you over voicemail because you missed one call while at work, is that crazy? Yes.
Yeah, that's fucking insane.
It's either crazy or she was looking for an excuse.
Yeah, it's one or the other.
And a lot of times when you see stuff like that, they're just addicted to the chaos about it, right? Like you'll end up getting back together and then it goes back and forth and you break up and you get back together several times. I've never understood the attraction to that type of emotional chaos that some people seem to thrive on.
It's not, it's the test form of affirmation or validation instead of the actual communication form of it. So the communication form of validation is you set your significant other down and you ask them why they value you. Maybe you don't feel as valued lately and you're just wanting to have a conversation about it. And just having the conversation really helps, either side of the person. Usually women are doing this. Men can sometimes do it too. But when it comes to the testing form of validation, the testing form is when women will either threaten to break up or break up with their significant other to make them try to win them back, to show that they still value them, which is like
absolutely fucking
the dumbest
ridiculous
thing in the world to me. But
it's so childish too. It's childish and it doesn't actually get you what you want. Like Brett said, it gets you into this cycle, and it's a very chaotic cycle. But I agree with Brett. I think that some people are addicted to that chaos, and they just because they grew up in sort of a chaotic environment, maybe their parents were always constantly fighting, and so they don't know how to love any other way, and you end up feeling comfortable like that. I'm the fucking opposite. I hate that shit. I can't stand it. I need that. It gives me anxiety. I want calm. I want peace at my house. I want to get along with the person that I'm fucking living with. And I've been with one boyfriend, where it was off and on a little bit. I'll never do that shit again. Once it's off, it's fucking done. You're done. Amen. You don't want to be with me anymore. That's it.
A lot of women will realize this later, and they'll say they threw away so many good men because they were just like giving them shit test over and over, and they would a lot of men, especially like me, I'm in my mid-30s and I got a lot of shit going on. If a girl's like, oh well, I'm out, I'm like, all right, cool. And that's my reaction. It doesn't matter who it is. I'm like, all right.
Oddly enough, that probably works better, right? Because they're not going to like you if you're like, no, please, like, you having your own thing going on and having your own confidence is way better for the ability for them to actually realize what's going on than it would be if you were trying to then constantly grovel and win them back, which nobody would find attractive.
No,
exactly. No. Waff says, don't try to understand women. Women understand women and they hate each other. Albert.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't understand all women either. I really don't.
Now, Zia's one of those girls that, all my friends are guys,
No, that's not true. I have tons of girlfriends, and the girlfriends that I have are fucking amazing and wonderful, and I love them, and they're not crazy.
She's like the water fountain at like a busy school gym. Everybody gets a taste, bro.
I hate you. I hate you.
Now make a Photoshop with her as a water fountain. That'll be impressive.
It's just her face on the spigot. It's very relevant. It's very relevant.
Why do I talk to you? See, this is what you get when you get guy friends. You think it's drama free. It's not. You get this shit.
This is what happens when you're friends with guys. You get roasted. Yep. me and Zia is half of me and Zia's text conversation.
It's pretty much all that. Yeah.
I'll be like, you look really nice today, and she'll be like, thanks. I'm like, for somebody that's 48.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
You have nice eyes, you stupid fuck. And I'm like, okay, hey, thanks.
That's me and most of the boys, right? It's like most of our conversations would be a hate crime in other countries. It really, really would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, would you be like, dude, your triceps are looking swole as hell right now? You know, you just mean
yeah.
It's like it's like it's that meme that they always use as a description. Like, what's the difference between men and women? It's like when a woman says like to her girlfriend, she's like, "Does this dress make me look fat?" And they're like, "No." Oh my God, you're beautiful. And then a guy's like, "Does this shirt make me look fat?" He's like, "Bro, I know 5 fat people, and you're 4 of them."
Yes.
Like,
one of my friends just sent me that fucking meme. That's so funny. See, but that's the difference. Like, that's why when you make girlfriends, you got to make ones that you love and trust. Because I've been shopping with girlfriends, and 100% they will tell me if something doesn't look good on me. Like, and those are the friends I need in my fucking life. Like the ones that are like, that does not flatter your body type. Because otherwise,
you get along with Ass Girl. She's brutal.
It's inherent to like there's so I saw the TikTok trend that was going around recently where it's like we're this group, we of course we're gonna do this, right? And then it goes back and forth with people like, oh, we're so there was this one, it was like we're a prison couple, and it goes back and forth with a lady and then a guy who's like literally just on a phone because he's calling from prison. And so I'm watching this and it's like we're a prison couple, of course we said I love you within a week of talking. And I'm reading the comments and this woman's like, "Oh my God, I love your relationship. It's everything." And I'm like, this is an example of a woman casually lying to another woman to sabotage her.
Yes.
Like if this person cared about you, they would be like, "This is not healthy. This is weird. Why are you doing this?"
That's insane.
That's just how it works, man.
Lord.
That's just how it works. Let's do Naked Snake for the 258th time in a row. Before we get there, go do your thing.
I gotta go do my thing. I don't know what top I'm gonna put on. Fuck, I'll figure it out.
What do you mean? Just go.
I'm going.
Like how she sits back down. Like what?
Shut up.
You can't sit back down. You gotta go. Why does it have a little googly eye now? Chair has a little tiny one now. Yeah. So, dude, I appreciate you coming on. It's been a lot of fun. I'm sorry I'm sick as hell.
No problem.
I forgot about it. That's one of the cool things about doing shows is I forget about it for a little while and then I get off and I'm dying again. I'm like, oh, fuck, life's
it always hits you right back in. Like one of the things I've noticed is like from like doing shows like this or like our show is like when you feel done, it's the same type of like kind of rush that I get from skating and stuff like that. It's very weird how like a show going really, really well is like an intense feeling.
People don't understand what it's like unless they do it. And especially like I remember I had a show one day where I think Critical Drinker, when Critical Drinker comes on my channel a lot, but I have to do the show at 4 p.m. because he's in like Scotland. So I had him scheduled and I forgot that I scheduled somebody else the same day. But my show is at 8:30. So I literally like got off my show with Critical Drinker and then did another show immediately after. So it was like 8 hours of shows. And then I did like a local stream after, and they were both huge shows, like just massive. And I was just so worn out. Like I couldn't even talk. I was just sitting there like in the corner.
Yeah. It kind of feels like it just all hits you at once, right? Like you got to do that. Like I've done like, I did like the Culture War here and then did our show at the regular time and then did IRL that night and then did like an interview later. And by the time it was done, I just passed out on my bed.
Yeah.
When it was all done.
That's what happens. People don't realize that. Yeah, physical labor is exhausting, but like this kind of thing is like weirdly mentally taxing.
Oh yeah, like when I explain to people, I'm like, I'm dumb. Like I'm a big dumb. So like for me to try to not sound like the big dumb for an extended period of time, it's a physically and mentally taxing thing. So you got to do it.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, everyone, there is no way in absolute hell I'm gonna be able to sing this song today. My voice is so coarse. And I will destroy my voice trying to do this, but it'll be normal otherwise. What'd you do, Zia?
I'm just laughing at you, Johan.
You still have the same dress on.
Yeah, I have the thing on under it. I'm going to take it off.
Okay, well, that's fine. Usually you do the shirt thing.
I decided because I'm wearing a dress, it's just as easy to take off.
Dude, that's my favorite thing is like keeping a dress on and just pulling it up.
Dude, don't even get me started. See, this is what.
Let's go.
Love it. Fucking love it. You ready, Zia?
I'm ready.
All right. 258 times in a row. It never ends. It's dedicated today to this man right here, Chris McGough, the top dog. Thank you so much, my friend. And don't forget Mud, my boy, and Billy Hatcher. You guys are crazy. crazy motherfuckers today. Thank you guys so much. We killed it. The streak lives on. Thank you. Here we go. Oh yeah, have Zia sing. Well, it'll be out of sync. She'll be like 4 seconds behind.
I'll be 4 seconds behind. It's gonna sound like shit. But thank you.
Don't take your stuff off yet, Zia.
Sorry, I'm getting naked already.
Here we go.
With darkness and silence through the night. What of me?
Give me a second.
I'm searching and I'll melt into you.
All right, here we go, Zia.
Okay.
You ready, Sonia? Oh, I'm so sick. Thank you, Sonia. In my time. See what I'm saying? It's just too much. It's too much today. But we're doing it. All the blue boys. Look at Zia. Look how great she looks.
Oh my goodness.
That's what everybody's here to see, bro.
I don't think so. You hit Naked Snake without me all the time. Oh, don't do that. Oh, Lord.
All right, Zia, you ready? Here we go. Here we go. That's a nice one. I like that. I like that bottom.
These are just underwear.
Amazing. Oh, yeah. Thank you, RPC. Thank you, everybody. You guys are goated as hell. Rob. I see a little bit of abs there, I think.
They're starting to come back because I've had zero appetite.
Good.
My bulk has been destroyed.
My cut's been destroyed. It's over. Thank you, Holy Ozone. My cut's been destroyed, cut in half.
I want to go back to
I can't
cutting.
even sing Naked Snake right now because I'm dying. What a travesty today. But we survived. One more show.
We did it.
Yeah. Thank you, Zia. I appreciate you. Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you.
We got one more Zia, though.
Everybody.
Not over yet, Zia.
I know. I'm ready.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know.
I'm ready.
Sure. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
You guys are goated. Here it is. Last one. Here we go. Amazing. Thank you.
We did it.
Oh,
We did it.
that's my least enthusiastic Naked Snake of all time because I'm so sick. Oh, thank you, Dan's fantastic. I appreciate you, my friend, for all your help today, all your support, all your love. Oh, it's hurt. It hurt. Ooh. It's like an open wound or something. Every time I cough, it's like pain times 10. Helena said she loves the bottom on you, bro.
Thank you, Helena.
Yeah.
They're underwear. They're literally just cheeky underwear. That's all these are. It's not even bathing suit.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I apologize everybody in chat for me being sick and low energy as hell. I tried, but I'm just dying.
You killed it.
Killed it.
Killed
What
it.
do you mean?
You
I'm
killed
dead.
it.
Is what you're saying? Because I'm pretty dead feeling right now.
You did good, Cody.
We are going to raid. I think. Let me look. We're gonna raid John Malin. I don't see. I just never see your channel up there, Billy. But I raiding John Malin. He's doing a closeout stream. Make sure you like the show on the way out. I have a new video